Hours of power.
Debates.
Jay Shine
Versus
Supreme King Coon.
Let's get at it.
Open your mind.
And so a community is where you control your belief, control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, my cousin, he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hit his sirens and looked to the rear and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passing by, he said, thank God, he wasn't after you in the first place, Mom. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. But all your billions and your Rolls Royce and your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up a paper and read over and over and see white families come? You take the thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying? That's black cops. Got my mouth one point. I said the back of the head. Why do you think black cops are going to think they're more spiritual? Think they're good? No. They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate. Now, if we were organized, which is hard to organize people who are simply run crazy, you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun have to have a license just like you to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store boy or a private detective. Now, how do you get Congress to push that? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young, and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and the start on Thanksgiving. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Huh? Black Fifth Avenue, Georgia, Sears and Roebuck, West House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, Senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Open your mind.
And peace, folks. And welcome back to another edition of the Proper the Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black ass is here. But tonight, got another good one for y'all on this here Wednesday hour of power debates. This is something new we doing. We started it last week. It went well. So y'all voted. And tonight is viewer's choice. So as you can see from the title right down here, Brother Jay Shine versus Brother Supreme King Coon. And tonight we will be debating the whole S.Y.S.B.M movement. Those of you who follow Brother Jay Shine know that he's against it, and those of you who follow Brother Supreme knows that he is for it. Okay, we're gonna get started in a minute, but y'all already know I gotta start the show off with thanking my folks. Last week got quite a good amount of donations. Even got a couple donations yesterday. I mean, y'all are like, I had to give y'all a bravo, man, because y'all be dropping coins on this platform, even when my black ass ain't even on. So, I have to start the show. I know y'all get tired of me doing this, but I have to start the show thanking y'all because I mean, y'all don't have to do that, man. Y'all don't have to come and show up to these streams every week. Y'all don't have to subscribe to this channel. Y'all don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to do it, but you choose to do it, man. And you definitely don't have to drop your coins that you work for all week, but you choose to do it. And man, I'm humbled. I'm honored, man. I'm grateful, man. I appreciate all of y'all, man. The support you give this channel, man, is just outstanding. And I'm going to continue to try to pump them out, man. I'm going to continue to try to pump them out for y'all because y'all support this channel, man. And, y'all support me, man, like I never could imagine, man. Y'all do. And like I always say, I don't say this to kiss your butts or to stroke you, because those of you who've been following me for a while, y'all know that's not what X does. I don't kiss no butts and I don't stroke folks. But I appreciate y'all, man. I do. And I'm just, like I said, man, I'm honored, man. I'm grateful. And I thank you. I thank all of you. All right. So, like I said, y'all know we about to get down with this debate. I see my folks in there. I see Brother CRU. What's good with it, man? I see the GOAT down there. Christine Williams, what's good? Lady Cocaine, what's good? Brother Brandon, what's good? Little Rock, what's good, brother? Brother TJ, what's good with you, man? JB, what's good with you, man? What's up, Brother Thomas? I see you up there, man. Yeah. So let me go ahead and bring in the combatants, and I will explain the rules. We bring in the brothers, Brother Jay Shine, Brother Supreme. We're gonna do one of those Oxford style debates. I gotta y'all should thank Brother Supreme, because he kind of steered me in this direction and gave me the reference material and all that kind of shit. So these are the rules we're gonna try to stick to. First, we're gonna have up here it says 10-minute opening statements, but I think 10 minutes is way too long for Negroes to be talking. So we're gonna knock it down to maybe 5 or 6. Everybody's gonna get an opening remark. Brother Jay Shine is gonna start first because he is affirming the position. All right. Then we're gonna have another, I guess, 5-6 minute cross questioning round for each person. All right. And then I guess we'll break for a few minutes and I'll play some of my songs and shit like that, talk shit to y'all. And then we'll have a rebuttal session for the affirmative, which means for. And then we'll have a rebuttal for the negative, which means against. And then I guess we're going to do some audience questions for a while as well. All right. The combatants or the debaters, they are allowed to use screenshots and videos and all that kind of stuff. My audience, this is what I'm asking of you. Like I asked last week, those of you who support Brother SKC, you shall not disrespect Brother Jay Shine. Those of you who support Brother Jay Shine, you shall not disrespect Brother SKC. Like I said last week, you're allowed to discuss, you're allowed to disagree, but you are not allowed to disrespect my guest. I have a lot of respect for both of these brothers. Both of these brothers are my people. I'm not allowing no disrespect. So my moderators, be on your P's and Q's. Now, I don't want you just timing people out for any old kind of thing just because, you know, they may disagree. But if they're saying stupid shit or they disrespecting my folks, y'all already know what to do. No timeout, none of that shit. Just block the hell out of them. Let them go ahead and dislike the video and say the stupid nonsense somewhere else. We're not going to read it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and throw down. Let me speak to my brothers. Peace, Brother Jay Shine, Brother Supreme. What's good with y'all, man?
What's good, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good, good, good.
Okay.
Brother Supreme, what's good with you, man?
Hey, what's going on? Xavier, Jay Shine, how's it going?
Good to hear you, brother. You sound like I feel, brother.
So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. If y'all brothers are ready, pull the trigger, and I believe we'll be starting with Brother Jay Shine.
All right, so I appreciate this debate. As you know on my channel, first of all, let me start being rude. Thanks, Supreme SKC, for coming through the debate. Shout out to X for hosting the debate, and shout out to everybody that's here to listen to it. Right now it's 3:30 in the morning, so forgive me. It's gonna take me a minute to wake up, but I'm here for it. Now, everybody knows on my channel, and I've been banging against S.Y.B.M and Black Pill and some of this red pill rhetoric that's out here. Not for the sake that I don't care about where black men are coming from or how they feel about certain things that's going on in the black community, but because I feel it's detrimental and it's unnecessary. As a descendant of slaves, someone who's come from generations of black men and black women who suffered in America, I don't need a title or anything like that to go out here and make things happen for myself and my lineage. I'm a black man, period. I don't wear no dashikis. I don't wear no damn kente cloths, none of that, uniforms. I'm strictly just a black man. I come from a long line of black men who served in this country. My grandfather served in the Korean War. My great grandfather served in World War I. My grandmothers I come from a long line of black women who struggled and raised good children, and I got to see, being born in '77, the fall of black society. And as a child, I got interested in knowing my history. That was embedded in me by my grandmother. She's the one that rooted me in my history and our family history. So I know the name of my great grandmother. I know stories about my great grandmother, her grandmother. And so as a child, I took it upon myself to know more, to learn more, about our history, what actually happened in America. It's not black history, it's American history, because there's no America without black people. So, what I've realized and I've learned over the years is that we've had waves of dissension inside black society. There's always been groups of black people who've looked down on the rest of black society. Now, am I gonna sit here and act like black female fuckery is not a thing? Hell no. Anybody who's been around YouTube for the last 2-3 years, you heard us speak. We used to bang against that shit. You know what I mean? No question. But we also used to support and fight for what I call a black future, which is the community tie that people now calling the community tie, which is not, to me, a funny thing to talk about, because if we're going to exist in America, we're going to have to come together at some point. All right, that means black men and black women. At some point, we're going to have to work this shit out if we're going to have a black future. To me, hopping the fence or quote unquote saving myself is not an option. And to speak on saving yourself, the term saving yourself, to me, I'm trying not to be disrespectful. The thing is, I don't see myself ever saying the term saving myself. Save myself from what? If you want to save yourself from white supremacy or a system of white supremacy, I can feel you on that to a certain extent. But save myself from women, I beg the difference. I beg the difference. I'm not going to sit here and say I need to save myself. I'm not a victim. And black men dipping themselves into victimhood or do nothingism, I can't rock with it. All right. So my thing is not about kowtowing to, the current status of women or the current state of women. My thing is about leading, building, building a better future, building a black future, and us coming together and getting on a having a code of conduct as men, and deciding what standards we're going to have as men, what standards we're going to have as far as what we're dealing with black women, what standards we're going to have as far as dealing with each other, and most importantly, what standards we're going to have as far as dealing with the outside world. No matter how you feel about it, brothers and sisters, we are a distinct group. We are one group. That's how the world looks at you. No female is going to save you from that. All right. So the whole notion that you getting with a Becky or getting with a Maylene or some Rosalind Sanchez chick is going to save you. That's bullshit. As Cuban Gooding Jr. has found out, as Blake Griffin has found out, as Bill Cosby has found out. We got all these real world situations of interacting with other races of women, and it has not turned out good for a lot of black men. Has not. So this whole notion, this fairy tale that we're giving out here, and these monikers that we're throwing around, like Black Pill for life, and S.Y.S.B.M, and that's not going to save you. It's not going to help you. If you want to go find your own happiness, go do it. Brothers in the 20s and 30s, when they were traveling the world, when they were jazz artists, or 40s, when they were jazz artists going to France, they didn't need a moniker like S.Y.S.B.M. They just did it. You know what I mean? And being in a country like America, I keep hearing these passports being thrown around. You are in the most multicultural place on the planet. Any access to any woman you want is right there in America, so you don't need a passport to leave. What I'm seeing right now is the rhetoric of young men taking on this mindset of fuck the community. So now we're going to have a new wave of young black men coming through who don't give a fuck about building. They don't care about a future. All they care about is pussy. You know what I mean? And as a man, I cannot sit there and co-sign that shit. So I'm throwing a lot out there to try to cover a lot so my man can come in and give his side of things. I'm pretty sure we're going to get more and more and more into it, what I just laid out. But the bottom line is that as a black man, I can't sit here and call myself saving myself from anything. If anything, I want to save our future. That should be the moniker. Save your future, black man, not save yourself. As men, we're supposed to build. In the world, and I'm going to close on this. I'm over here in Europe right now, and I watch other groups of men operate. And they don't have this mentality. They're builders. You can't sit here and tell me other societies ain't fucked up. Like they don't have, ghetto versions of themselves. They don't have the downtrodden versions of themselves. But that's not what they promote. They promote and project power. They go out to other countries and they build and they put restaurants right there in America. You look at other groups who come to America, other groups of men. They come in, they build their businesses. They don't look down on each other. They don't sit on the internet putting down their own people. They don't do that shit. In America, you have all kinds of white trash. And you don't see white Americans sitting up there doing that. But we have a habit of doing that shit right here on YouTube. And it needs to come to an end. We know we have ghetto folk. We know we have poor folk. We know we have ignorant folk. The question is, you got to zoom out and say, you know what? How the fuck did this shit come about? So on my channel, I did a video trying to break down how ghettos were created. From racial covenants up to redlining to the projects. There's been a steady line of trampling black society. Black people who tried to build communities. Black people who were smushed together from the top to the bottom, and they created these black neighborhoods. And then they gave us drugs and the rest that you all know and that happened in the modern era. This is a planned attack on us. It's been a sustained planned attack on us for a long time. So when we zoom out and look at the product of it, we look in 2019, we look at the product of how we or what we are. And now we got black people going around here shitting on it. And they pushing out monikers like S.Y.S.B.M and Red Pill against their own, but they don't want to go at the fucking system. They don't want to go at white folk. You know what I mean? They just want to go at their own. I gotta call foul on that. So I'm gonna close on that right quick, and my man go ahead and give his opening statement.
Brother Supreme, you up?
Instead of giving an opening statement, I'm just gonna play a video because I think it will give some light into what S.Y.S.B.M actually is, because there's a lot of I would say confusion concerning it. So we put together like a little short vid, little entertainment. At the same time, it'll open up some eyes. So. See my screen, X?
Yep, you up there.
I'm not going to sit up and pretend like I don't understand what y'all are saying when you talk about Black women's issues with customer service work. Okay, I have experienced this. I have. Okay. But I will say, you know, and I'm thinking about the last time I had an issue with the water company out here. And I had to go into the office. And when I saw it was this older Black woman who was going to help me, my first question was, I wonder if she's going to be nice or if this is going to be a problem. And just the fact that I thought that, right? The fact that it's true. But, you know, when I got, and, you know, I was thinking, you know, it's a shame that I would come in here as a Black woman and expect that I could possibly have a problem with other Black women.
Is it a shame because you think that, or is it a shame because in most instances it's true?
Who is laughing hysterically? Who is doing this?
Supreme King Coon. What's going on, brother?
I got my man, brother Supreme King Coon.
Supreme King Coon in the building. What's going on, brother? Wait till they get a load of me.
Violence is how the community solves problems.
Violence!
Supreme King Coon is brought to you by...
Ain't got no choice but to be stuck with me because fuck nigga I'm pregnant again. Bitch, not only did I finesse you, but fuck nigga I trapped you. Fuck nigga I trapped you. Nah, bitch, you trapped. I swear you. Fuck nigga I hurt you. Fuck nigga I hurt you. I'll show you a dog ass bitch though. I'll show you a dog ass bitch though. I'll show you a dog ass bitch though. I'll show you what the fuck a dog ass bitch.
You educated lame niggas don't know y'all place in the community. Y'all don't know what y'all supposed to be doing. Y'all are the niggas that's supposed to repair the community. And being that Pookie and Ray Ray done called you niggas out on that, on being house niggas, that's your position, educated lame. That's your position. You went to school, nigga, to take care of your people. You went to school, nigga, to take care of your people. You went to school, nigga, to take care of your people. To take care of your people.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
Okay, please listen carefully.
See, the S.Y.S.B.M brothers are not saying that other ethnicities of women are better because they happen to be other ethnicities. We're saying that we want culture, we want values, we want ways of living, we want attitudes. So you have quality females of the light-skinned side of the game, and you have quality dark-skinned females. You have quality females of all ethnicities, nationalities, or whatever. The fact of the matter is, though, you have a higher probability of finding quality elsewhere. That's just where it is at this moment in time.
Okay, this is very easy. You just have to remember it. Okay?
I have a question. I really have a question for the men of the panel.
Let me say this. Here's the answer to the question, sister. The people that we put in power make the laws. And the people who make the laws make the child support laws. And the people that we've been putting in charge are white women. White women. White women.
We knew that was coming. We knew this was coming.
White women. What the hell just happened? What just happened?
He fell off.
I guess there it is.
Wait till he come back.
So, that's your
Yeah.
opening statement, Brother Supreme? Is that your opening statement? That video?
With the addition of, yes, save yourself, black men.
Okay, that's it. That's it for opening statements. So I guess we're gonna get on into it. I guess Brother Jay Shine, I guess you would be doing your cross questioning right now, Brother Supreme. Pull the trigger.
Oh, who goes now? I'm sorry.
You do.
Okay. All right. Look, I appreciate the propaganda. It's cool. I'm not here to Becky worship. I guess a lot of you brothers are, but I can't do it. To give some historical context to what you just saw. You saw a video of dudes promoting the best of another group of women and promoting the worst of his group of women. Meanwhile, I could sit here and do the same thing on the reverse. I could sit here and show you white girls fighting. I could show you ratchet trailer truck park trash. I can show you all types of white women who are doing skullduggerous bullshit. I can show you the white whores. You know what I mean? We can show you white sluts. We can show you all kind of shit on the other side. But I guess he doesn't want to show that because he wants to promote, white women. And I'm not here to Becky worship. But I will say this. There was one part of that video that I did appreciate, and that was the fact that there were some representation of black women, who are classier on up movable side of things. Now, look, every society has its ghetto folk. Every society has that. The majority of black people, though, are working class people. They're not ghetto folk. So when you show only your ghetto people or you show only your poor people as a point of view to try to sell to everybody else, man, you're really creating a false argument. All right, you're creating a false argument, especially when you're giving the historical context of what it means to be an American or Black American in America. You know what I mean? So, look, the guys can push their propaganda. It still doesn't change the fact that if we want a black future, we're gonna have to figure this shit out. And that's my main question: do cats want a black future? And to me, it seems like they don't. It seems they want a Becky, and they're going to promote Becky, even though Becky's out here doing the most. Even though we find out every month, some brother gets released from jail from a false obligation. Even though we've seen all these white women put Bill Cosby in jail for money. Even though we've seen all of these white women take black athletes to court and rape before their money. Ask Blake Griffin. You know what I mean? Like, we have all these situations where we could point at white women and say, damn, they did some fucked up shit. But no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to keep it even. We want to just sit here and look at the black women, because really what's happening, what you're watching right now, is brothers coming through the so-called manosphere to promote self-hate. All right? That's all it is. It's self-hate. As men, we're supposed to be futuristic. This is our time right now. We're young men, and we're supposed to be building for our future. Now, I want to address the comment in the comment section, because I'm going to show you how ignorant some of our people are. All right, there was some brother that said something about how can you save the black community or black people while you over in Germany. First of all, I'm not here to say I can save the black community. I can't do it by myself. That's why I'm banging against S.Y.S.B.M. See, power, brother, for you brothers who don't want power, who just want pussy, is a group phenomenon. And what kills me is that y'all don't want to operate like other men, even though you want to worship their women. All right. Now, for those ignorant people who say something like, well, he's in Germany, et cetera, et cetera. Look, I cut that two ways. I cut that as ignorance and jealousy. A lot of you brothers want to be where I'm at, obviously, because I'm in a country full of Beckys, all right, or Gretchens, if you will. And yes, they are choosing out here. And there's plenty of brothers over here who've been over here 20, 30 years who are married to German women. But you brothers don't know what that fucking shit is really about. Y'all don't have the total insight or the rundown of that. So that's why I'm doing interviews. I met another brother today. He's actually the grandchild of Jackie Wilson. His mother is the daughter of Jackie Wilson. I had lunch with him the other day. This cat named Roscoe, cool as shit. And he's a direct descendant of Jackie Wilson, another ADOS brother, another foundational Black American. And we had lunch, and he's married to a German woman. But that comes with a whole different thing, man. That it's not what you guys think it is. And that's why I'm going to interview these brothers to give you the full rundown of what it means to be living abroad. Now, as far as me not being in the city community where I'm at, I want you to explain something. Then I'm going to talk to the ignorance. We're part of an empire. As an American citizen, you are an empire. This is New Rome. In case you did not know, we have hundreds of thousands of bases all over the world. Our State Department has embassies everywhere in the world. There are hundreds of thousands of Black, white, Hispanic Americans working abroad. And I happen to be one of them. But all my property and all my family is back in the US of A. You understand me? My house is in Virginia. I have land in Arizona. I'm a co-owner of a house in North Carolina. My house is over there. I don't own shit over here. You know what I mean? So you cannot work abroad now. That's going to be the template. Now, I've heard that a lot in these YouTube streets. Well, Jay Shine's over there. What is it? That means nothing. I'm out here with the rest of these white boys who are going home, who are going to rotate back to America, who are over here getting this paper. You come over here and you do two things. You either come over here and you make money, or you come over here to travel. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would say get your passport and go out here and see the world. You know what I mean? But this whole Becky worship and shit, we can't do that. So the question I have for SKC is this. Let's see if we can find some common ground. I would agree with that brother on black female fuckery, right? I would agree and say this. A lot of black women can learn a lot from other groups of women as far as being more feminine, being more respectful, having a fucking less attitude. I can agree with that. All right, I can agree with that. Can we both agree? Can we all of us agree with that? Now, if we agree with that, if that's your premise that black women can learn a lot from other groups of women, then my question to you, brothers, is this. Why y'all not learning from other groups of men? Why y'all not building like other groups of men? Why y'all not practicing code of ethics and code of conduct like other groups of men? Chinese have plenty of poor, ratchet-ass Chinese. But they don't project that shit. They project power. They just found 35 dead Chinese migrants in the back of a goddamn truck in London a few months ago. Because that's what they do. They traffic their own people. But they don't project that. So there's a lot of fuckery going on in Asia. There's a lot of fuckery going on in South America. South Americans are down there killing each other at a whole clip. But you ain't saying nothing about these Latinas. You're not putting them down. You're not putting down, Mexicans or, Nicaraguans or Ecuadorians and all the crime and all the fucking Latino crime that's going on down there. Because people are in certain conditions, they're going to have certain type of behaviors. That's it. That's why you can only point to Chicago. You can't point to certain parts of Atlanta. You can't point to the suburbs of Atlanta. You can't point to the black suburbs of Maryland, where a lot of black people live. You only can point to these hot areas. So those are white supremacist talking points that brothers are out here using, and they're false arguments. So my question to brothers is this. Again, I'm gonna back off the mic. If you want to sit here and say, all right, fine, black women have a lot to learn from, other groups of women as far as femininity, attitudes, and all that kind of shit. Okay, cool. Then why the fuck you not practicing what you preach? Why are you not sitting here following the same path as other men, other groups of men? Other groups of men are getting together, practicing group economics. Other groups of men are creating a code of conduct. Other groups of men are out here working with each other, and they're projecting power and not petulance. All right, so that's all I got to ask. That's my question for SKC.
Brother Supreme.
Well, Jay Shine, I appreciate you stating the idea of creating some common ground, because I think that's important in any conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we do have some common ground in that, of course, we both recognize the detrimental behavior of Black women within Black society. That's a given. But with everything that was showed, I thought it was interesting that you kind of keyed off on some of the lowest of the low in the video. And there were examples of what would be called the most educated class in America. That title that Black women give to themselves, they award it to themselves without real merit. Because there was a lot of pictures of those women, and yet they do not give a crap about Black men. And that's obvious by what they do. You take, for instance, over the past week, you had Oprah herself going after Russell Simmons. What did Russell Simmons ever do to her? Well, he opened up his home to her and gave her one of the biggest stories that she ever had. She's been known to go after other Black men, just like she did with Mike Tyson and Clarence Thomas and Bill Cosby. The list goes on. Okay, that has nothing to do with the lowest of the low in the community. That's some of the highest of the high. So to just key off and say, no, anybody can show the worst in their community. No, that's not what's being done. And to be honest with you, it's not me that's showing this. It's them themselves who are celebrating this type of behavior and putting it online for other people to enjoy, because they believe that that gives them some sort of clout, some type of street credibility in their various neighborhoods. There aren't people going out with a video camera searching for this junk. They post it themselves. So that whole idea, I think that's of you saying that S.Y.S.B bros are trying to promote the worst in their society, in their group. No, they do it. The Black people do it to themselves. Go to another point you put with the whole thing of worshiping Becky. And there was a reason why I put that at the very end of the video with RBR turning everything back to white women. Right before that, if you had listened closely, there was a little Asian lady that said, all you have to do is remember it. Before then, Keregakure Jones put on a long diatribe about, S.Y.S.B.M isn't about just putting one group of women over another. Said it wanted culture, class, attitudes that were positive, regardless of race. He even said you can go super light skin, you can go super dark skin. If you go over to slayingevil.com, Babatuna Umane, he has a website that he has out for the S.Y.S.B.M bros. And in it, there's 22 tenets in that. And in it, it shows that S.Y.M bros can go after Black women too. They just have to be of certain standards. See, that's the whole thing that a lot of times I think detractors don't want to hold to, is that the S.Y.S.B.M bros are saying, no, the standards of Black America are poor. They need to be uplifted. Now you're saying, I'm hoping that you're saying that you want to go into these communities and try to raise the standards. Most of us don't believe that that's possible. So my question back to you would be, what are some of the things that you believe that you as an individual can do to raise the standards of Black America?
Well, hold on, am I muted? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good, but hold on a
Okay.
second. Hold on a second. Just let me break in for a minute. Now, you folks out there in the immediate audience, I'm looking down and I see 55 damn likes, but I see 103 of your black behinds up in here. Move that lazy hand to the left and hit that damn like button. I mean, come on. Look at what I'm putting on for you folks. Come on. Hit the damn like button, man. It's not like I'm asking you for $1. It only takes a second to do it. We got Brother Jay Shine debating Brother Supreme King Coon on this whole Save Yourself Black Men thing. You can at least show a little appreciation and hit the damn like button. Thank you. Continue, Brother Jay Shine.
Well, look, I don't want to shift this conversation to being the premise on what the women do. Me, I'm more of on a man's position on this. All right, I'm not a black female apologist. All right, just like I can't apologize for certain brothers who do certain things, I can't apologize for what certain women do. What I can say is this: I know other groups of men have been in worse positions than us. Look at the Asians. I did a live stream not too long ago with another person, and we were talking about how 70 years ago, China was being occupied by Japan, and they were pretty much destroyed after World War II. A lot of countries were. And, you see what they've gone through in the last 40 to 50 years as far as rebuilding their society. They had opioid epidemics. They had all kind of shit going on in that country. There's a lot of poor people in that country. And if you ever go to China, you'll see the ghettos firsthand. It's not a great place, but they don't promote that. And that was the point I was trying to make about promotion. Promotion is a tool of power. You know what I'm saying? So, when you talk about these people, black people showing and putting their own videos up, I get it. I got 100 videos of black female fuckery, but again, I can show you 100 big females of white female fuckery. You know what I mean? And that's what people do now. They just show their bullshit on social media because they have no home training. They're in a society right now that is manless. I want brothers to understand what I'm saying. There's no male leadership in the so-called black community, and I don't think we even have a black community. I actually see this as an opportunity. You know what I mean? When cats say let it burn and all that shit, I say no. Once you burn it down and rebuild it, that's what other men in the world have done. Other men in the world have looked at their societies. You look at Europe and see how skullduggerous it was in the fucking the Middle Ages, and you see what they did. Now, do I agree with what they did, colonizing Africa and colonizing other indigenous people and and slavery and all that? No, but they still went on a fucking track to build a new future. So all this shit you see right now, all these good neighborhoods and all these, when you fly into BWI and you look out the window as that plane tips to the left and you see nothing but rows of houses on lakes and boats and all that shit was built on the backs of us. It was built during the world's biggest human, crime in history. For hundreds and hundreds of years of slavery and then another 100 years plus of Jim Crow and oppression. That's what that shit was built on. So when we sit here and we worship other groups of other societies and going back to Asia, look what they did with their people. Controlling the birth rates and, basically slave labor, all these things that we sit here and now we want to sit here and, celebrate their women because their women are somehow better than ours because they men went out here and built something. They thought about the future. They didn't just build for themselves. Those so-called founding fathers in America, even though they were doing slavery and all that shit, they still built the future for the white boys who are here today. The white boys are carrying on a legacy of power passed down from other groups of men. I'm telling you right now, as a black man who owns a house in a white community, my house is in Trump country. My house is 10 minutes south of Quantico. All right. I live in white society. Mm-hmm. They're not much better than us. They're not. The drug use is out the yin yang. Fucking STD rates out the window with them. They just don't have an apparatus that promotes it. And even though you can go online right now and find everything that you see black women doing, you can see what the white girls are doing, you can find the same thing white girls are doing. It's just not promoted the same. All right, it's not promoted the same. I'll give you a great example. MTV had a show. These kids from West Virginia, you know how they have reality shows, and they had a show with West Virginians and all that, and the shit was ridiculous. Watching how these white kids are living and how they prepare, how they act, and how they report themselves. White society shut that shit down. They had that show taken off the air. They had Honey Boo Boo taken off the air. That's not the case for us. We don't control VH1. We don't control MTV. White society does. So the same white women that you talk about, let's talk about high society white women. Since we want to talk about Oprah and all that, I'm going to circle back to that in 1 second. Some of the most skullduggerous and most hateful, evil people on the planet as well-to-do white women. You don't see all these videos out here of them stopping black people and calling the police on them, and they just going about their business. But black people going into their building, black people going, barbecuing in the park. You see what I'm saying? So when you sit here and promote Becky, what are we really doing? So when we go to Oprah and high society, look, Oprah is a shill. She works for white society. She's not us. And at the same time you bring her up, there's a slew of black women right now dragging her ass on YouTube. I just watched Ricky Smiley yesterday, and 3 black women on Ricky Smiley's show dragging Oprah. All over Fly Nubian TV, 3 different sets of videos dragging Oprah. Nicolesville dragging Oprah. There's a slew of black women out here dragging Oprah. But you're not going to promote that. You're not even going to address it. You're not even going to act like this happening. All you want to see and promote is the fuckery. Anything that pushes your agenda or pushes your point of view, that's what you're going to show. And that's not balance. You see what I'm saying? I can sit here and look at all the fucked up shit that black women do. I can. And they do a lot of foul shit. Trust me, I have custody of my daughter. I ran right into the so-called gynocracy, which is no such thing. But the bottom line is that when I had to go into that courtroom and deal with my baby's mother and all that, I had to deal with foul shit. I had to deal with the lying. I had to deal with the disrespect. But I didn't run from it. I didn't save myself. You know what I did? I saved my daughter. I saved my black future. I saved my lineage. And that's the question that to that brother was like, yo, what can you do to, fix the community? I'm going to tell you something. This is some real shit. The answer to our problems is in the fucking mirror. Us. And to the left, other black men to the left and right of you. And building a new future. And I'm not talking about being nice, neither. I'm not talking about kissing her ass, because I think that's what niggas hear. Every time we talk about building a future, y'all hear kowtowing to black women. See, black men have bought onto and have ingested this linear thought from these Europeans. Linear thought is us versus them, good, bad. Us, we them. You know what I'm saying? This it's only a linear. There's no circular thought. Good versus evil. When we all know there's, a good person can do a little bit of evil, could do evil sometimes. An evil person could do good sometimes. It's called the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. There's no, you know what I'm saying? But we took on this linear thought. So now if you are not for, S.Y.S.B.M, then now you are a simp. You see what I'm saying? Now there's no middle ground. And that's okay. Ridiculous. So, you know what I mean? Okay,
so let's get down to it, Jay Shine. Let's, free flow and go back and forth a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
Where do you get the whole idea of linear thought when it comes to S.Y.S.B.M? And the reason why I ask is because from our point of view, we're pretty much wide open. It's the other side that is, no, you have to go by this set. They even use the whole thought of you have to be on code.
Yeah.
On what code? Show me a written black code. So what are you talking about? Linear thought.
Look, I'd say like this. Being on code for me is the code has got to be tied to a purpose, right? Right. No, so what? No. Let me finish. Let me wash this out. The code has to be, any code is tied to a purpose. Like, so Asian people are on code, right? What are they on code for? Because they're on code for building, Asian society. You go down to Chinatown, they're on code. But what that code is attached to a purpose. You see what I'm saying? They're not just on code to be on code. They're attached to a purpose. These are satellite people who are built or part of a bigger group who are on a bigger mission. You see what I'm saying? Right. So my thing is, when we talk about being on code, I'm answering your question about being on code. For me, because I can't answer for everybody, which is, a hard thing to do, right? You got tenants over there at S.Y.S.B.M.
But that's the problem. That's
right.
The whole problem, Jay Shine, is you cannot go by some oral tradition of things. There has to be some set of standards and rules that are put in writing.
Brother, what I just said earlier. What I just said earlier, I said groups of black men coming together, creating a code of conduct and standards. You see what I'm saying? For us, but not for other groups of women, other groups of people. You see what I'm saying? Why would we don't need to come together to do that. If you want to hop the fence, just fucking hop the fence. You don't need a code of conduct for that. You see what I'm saying? They just go.
It's not
Tay Diggs didn't need S.Y.S.B.M. Matter of fact, I tell you what, I make it even personal. When I was in my 20s, when I was a teenager in my 20s, I slept with other races of women. I didn't need a code. I didn't need S.Y.S.B.M to do that. I had sex with. You see what I'm saying? I didn't need this new movement to go out here and do certain things. We need to do to come together as building the future. And this is the hard part about this, SKC. This is the hard part about this. What I'm asking brothers to do is think futuristic. And that means building long term. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. And that's when brothers are not understanding. To fix what we got going on with us is going to take generational generation to generation lift. You understand me? So
Correct.
when you talk about what have I done? What have I done? First of all, I saved my child from black female fuckery, if you will, right? Yeah, I stepped in, got custody of my daughter. I got custody of my daughter. My daughter's in out here in Germany with me. All right, so I'm raising my daughter. So my daughter's not a ratchet little female. So that ended with her. That's over. All right. Now, also, I come from a father who was a deadbeat father. My father didn't take care of me, but that ended with me. You understand me? So I'm just giving you a personal solution, what I did on my level, on a on a bottom level, before we go out to the greater community. Go ahead.
Okay. So what we're saying is individuals saying, hey, this is what I individually did. These are my stories and so forth. Hey, if that's what you want to go by, fine. Over here, it's show me the data, show me the empirical evidence, show me the statistics, show me the peer-reviewed research. Because on this side of things, that's what we're looking at, and we're guiding decisions based upon quant. That's what we live in. We live in the era of quant. So this whole idea of, oh, we can only look backwards in history and so forth. No, right now in time, we have the ability to look at more information and to make forecasting decisions. You said that you're a businessman. Every businessman now understands the necessity to forecast. Well, why not do that with your life? The Black community is not forecasting. It's in disarray, total dysfunction. It doesn't even understand the meaning of simple definitions. You can go from one city to the next, or right here, even on the internet, and talk with individuals. And just like you said earlier, you know what? What's on code? Well, to me, I feel, well, I don't care about your feelings. Give me a standard definition. And that's what Black people don't understand. It's like, you cannot move ahead without standards across the board.
Okay. But if we're moving across for standards across the board, again, what is that purpose, SKC? Is your purpose to be with a Becky, or is it to be with Black women? Hold on, let me finish my question. Let me finish my question. It does have to. Just, dude, you put a fucking whole video of Black men with Black women and white women. So what do you want me to do? I can't run from with your presentation. I'm going off your presentation. So I'm asking a question now. So is your future and your forecast is to be with Becky, create you some Blake Griffins, some Steph Currys? Is that the fucking answer? You see what I'm saying? Is that the answer? For real, take upwardly mobile Black men who have incomes of 6 figures and above. Take that income and bring it to another group of men's community, because that's what you're doing. You're marrying their daughters. So you're bringing your money, your expertise into their community. So what I'm saying is this. My question is this: how do we build a Black future, S.Y.B.M?
Okay. What is your definition of Black?
What do you mean with my definition of Black?
Yeah, what is you?
Hold on a second, Brother Supreme. Hold on. Let me do some moderating. Now, he asked you a question. So go ahead and answer his question, and then you ask a question, and then he can answer that question. Go ahead and answer the question.
Okay. Repeat your question, Jay Sean.
My question is, what do we do to create a Black future?
Okay. I believe that we continue to do what we're doing now. You have some of the, I would say, more mobile brothers who are able to inject themselves within the international community, because we live in an era where I would say primitive thought of tribalism and staying within a neighborhood and a particular city and trying to build amongst other individuals who have no respect for community, family. That's absurd. So I think individuals that are actually moving out into the world and building enclaves of, with just individual families of their own, that is preserving Black people. And when you talk about the preservation of Black people in general, people act like what's here in America is the sole sum of Black people. No, we are a tiny percent. What, probably 3% of the Black people on earth are in America? Like, what are we even talking about with this pseudo just crazy talk about, oh, we're gonna decimate the race and all this other stuff? There's a reason we don't look like Africans. We're mixed already. So what are people talking about?
Mixed by force.
It doesn't matter. You can't mix.
Hold on. It should matter. It should matter, brother. That's what I'm saying. Your history should matter. All right. It should matter. No other group around the world operates like this, where they don't give a shit about their history. And when we talk about tribalism, what the fuck is gentrification? They're not gentrifying as some mixed group. They're gentrifying as white folk. White folk are coming in and gentrifying you in Portland, in New York. They're gonna start doing that shit in Atlanta too. They do it. Everybody operates as a group, fam. Everybody. All the groups coming into the country are practicing tribalism right now. You want to talk about data? You want to talk about numbers? Let's talk about right now. Every group is coming in and fucking operating as a group, even Africans. Because they don't come in operating as Black or African American. Only when they can get a handout or some type of slide to school. Yeah, they take it then, but they're still Nigerian. They're still Congolese. They're still Sudan. Ethiopians don't fuck with us. They go to their own clubs. I'm from DC. I used to be a club promoter. I'm gonna tell you the most segregated day is not just Sunday. Most segregated time is also Friday and Saturday night because everybody goes and parties where they want to party.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they usually party with themselves. You see what I'm saying? Sikhs go out here and they stay to themselves. There's only like 2 million, a million or something, or 2 million Sikhs in the country. I know 2 of them, and they stay to themselves. We work with each other. We mixing in. When they go home, they stay to themselves. I work with a Vietnamese cat. Every time we go out with this dude and he picks a place, he has us at this place called 7 Corners, where they got nothing but Vietnamese and Cambodian and Laos. They all huddle together, and they practice group economics. Every group does this. Now, look, I'm not talking about going into these communities to fix anything. You know why? Because a lot of these communities are not owned by us. You can't fix something you don't own, but we can create new shit. What's stopping you so-called S.Y.S.M brothers from saving yourselves? What's stopping y'all from going out buying land in Arizona and creating communities? Why are we sitting back waiting for everybody else to do something for us? You can go build communities right now.
Why do you think that there aren't any brothers doing that?
That's what I'm saying. There's examples of it. There's a community out in Texas that was created by Black people that exists right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you this: the same thing that happened in Portland with the gentrification that's going on in Portland right now, that community was created by Black veterans. You see what I'm saying? And what the reason why they're getting gentrified is because they don't have any power. Power is a group phenomenon, fam. If you don't have any power, which means you don't have group economics, you don't have political apparatus where we are voting block and we're working with each other politically, you're gonna get fucking ran over all the time. That's why they can bring fucking immigrants in this country and put them right on top of you. Right. And they get more rights than you. And you should be, and not you, but all of us should be pissed off about that. We should be livid. That the people who are illegals got more rights than we do. They don't even get in California. They don't even get their fucking cars impounded because they're in legal status. But they'll take your black ass and take your car from you, and you know what I mean, and put you through all kinds of hardships. See, these are the pressures that Black people have to deal with that a lot of the groups don't have to deal with. And for us to dismiss those pressures in the history that we live through and we strive through, because all intents and purposes, we should be dead. Now, I put a video on my channel where I broke down Black politics. It's titled Black Politics, Kamala Harris, and Voluntary Miscegenation. Practicing miscegenation is not going to get us a Black future, brother. Go ahead.
Before you go too far in, are you suffering from gentrification there where you own your homes?
Yeah. My community in Bushwick is gone. I'm from Bushwick, Brooklyn.
No. I'm talking about where you said you own property.
No. My thing is, I'm going to gentrify them. I'm new money. I buy smart, and I come in and I buy properties and I use them You know what I'm saying? To get my money up. You feel me? Since they want to fucking, overprice their communities and put our communities down and make sure and say our houses and black communities ain't worth shit. But when they come in and buy it, all of a sudden they buy it dirt cheap and now it's worth, you know what I'm saying? Like they did in Brooklyn. All these properties that we used to have in Brooklyn, all, were worth shit when we were there. And then when they gentrified it, hold on, let me finish. When they gentrified it, now it's worth X amount of dollars. So my thing is I play the game in the American system. We have a capitalist system. One thing Byron Allen said that I really respect is that there are trillions of dollars in liquidity floating around in this economic system. That's real talk. You know what I mean? So I'm about upper mobility. I'm about empowerment. I'm about getting the paper and playing the game.
So how was it that you were able to do so and other black people weren't?
Well, first of all, you're asking the wrong question, SKC. Well, there are a lot of white people who couldn't. Let me tell you a real story. This is not even a long story. This is real quick. I was going to call my daughter one day, and I was, having a real conversation with her about legacy and being appreciative and all that kind of shit. And we were driving down a back road in Stafford, and we passed by 7 rusted mailboxes. And down that road was nothing but trailer parks. All that's white. Those white people cannot afford where I live. You understand me? One of her white girlfriends or white friends from her school was living in the townhouse when I dropped her off one day because they were hanging out and I gave her a ride home. I'm living and doing better than her parents. You understand me? So there's white people who can't afford to be where I'm at. So to ask why other black people can't do it is a false narrative. It's a false question. There are levels to the game. There are a lot of white people out here who make the money I make. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So so that's like saying only black people.
Hold on, let him finish. Hold on a second. Let him go ahead and finish his point.
I was going to finish on a question like this. I was going to say
I'm going to let you. Hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and let Brother Jay Sean finish his point. Then I'm going to let you rebut Brother Supreme, and then we're going to go to a little break. All right? So go ahead.
So you asked the question. The question you asked again, it's a tainted question, brother. It's coming from a slanted point of view. You said, why can't other black people go ahead and go do that? First of all, everybody's not going to be able to be put in the same position. Some people are going to have to be bus drivers. Some people are going to have to be delivery people. Some people are going to have to work at the post office. There's levels to the game. But guess what? There are a lot of white people who can't afford to be where I'm at. So when you ask that question, again, you only targeting your own kind and putting them in at this fucking unbelievable, unreachable standard. You see what I'm saying? That we don't hold another group to. We talk about drug use and ratchet culture in white and black America, but again, we don't look at these other communities and see how fucked up they are.
But you reached it though.
Yeah, I reached it. Yeah, I did, and that's why I promote that. Yeah,
and so did I. Because here in Texas, in Houston, in Fifth Ward, where a lot of gentrification has been taking place, I saw other individuals all in the neighborhood that had properties that they were given by their family and let it slide by doing dumb junk like not paying taxes.
Right.
While all the time riding on rims and putting systems in their cars and junk. So this whole idea of, oh man, there's no opportunity and black folk are just getting gentrified or so forth. No, a lot of it is because they're making jacked up decisions based on a stupid culture instead of looking towards the future and making sound fiscal decisions. But we don't want to talk about that because when we do that, then we're going to say, oh, but you know what? That's a racial thing. No, it's not. That's just called being ridiculous.
Dude, failure.
Sound.
You know how much debt white people who created? I mean, like, we're dealing with power structures, boss. You know, one thing Barack Obama said, he didn't do shit for us, but I tell you one thing he said that I always appreciated is that when a black kid gets in trouble, he gets dealt with. White society, when a white kid gets in trouble, their environment is more forgiving. You see what I'm saying? We're dealing with a group of people who've created so much debt. You know what I mean? And they just keep creating debt. And we're going to sit here and compare ourselves to this group of people who have failed over and over again and created artificial success is what I call it.
Okay.
All right.
So you said a whole bunch about the past, about history and so forth. And you mentioned the idea of individuals in the past so far as black people.
Yeah.
Well, I come from a very proud lineage of black people, and my grandfather was about this. Hey, I don't care that the what's going on over here or what these people are doing and what these people are doing, if you already know what the chessboard looks like, you adapt and you don't make excuses.
Okay.
Have to fight harder, you have to fight harder.
I agree with that message.
Smarter with
100%.
your money, you have to be smarter with your money. If you need make higher standards for yourself so that you can survive, then you make higher standards for yourself so you can survive. You don't blame other people for your lack of responsibility.
All right, let me ask you a question. If
we're gonna end it there. We're gonna end it there. We're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we're gonna lead off with Brother Jay Sean, because I know he got that question burning, and then we're gonna continue this debate right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. You know, we are debating the Save Yourself Black Men, and our debaters tonight are Brother Jay Sean and Brother Supreme King Coon. Get those likes up with your black behinds, god damn it. And I will see you on the other side of this here little commercial break. We got to stop this shit. Open your minds.
And I'll be honest with you, I'd rather go to church and listen to the most vulgar gangster rap in church than hear you niggas sing Amazing Grace. Do you know how filthy that song is? Do you know people all over the world laugh at you? And the sad part about it, most of you don't know John Newton wrote that song. I mean, y'all know that. He was a drug, a slave trader that would make Hitler look like an altar boy. Came out of a house where his daddy was a preacher. Open your mind. So he knew about repentance, although he had denied the church. And then he got caught out on one of his pleasure boats. Got caught on a pleasure boat. And the storm came up. Y'all know something? Made Katrina look like a picnic. And he fell on his knees and said, God, oh Lord, let me repent, forgive me, don't let me die. And the storm ceased. And he was so grateful, he wrote that song. And you need to sit up here talking about forgive a wretch. Like, you don't even know what a wretch is. He said, forgive a wretch like me. Can you imagine if that boy's mama would have been a whore and as notorious as he was, and God saved her, and she write a song talking about thank God for forgiving a hoe like me, and your black mama sitting up in church saying forgive a hoe like me? What kind of I go all over the world. I go to China, check out the Christian community. Jesus looked Chinese. Go to Africa, India, Jesus looked Indian. Go to Japan, go to Brazil, Jesus looked Brazilian. Come back home to America and go in the black community to a black church, and Jesus is a white man, and you wonder what's wrong with your children. You nigga. Open your minds. Christ got 12 disciples. Christ born in a place where there ain't nothing but niggas. And he chose 12 disciples. He didn't only pick European, he picked 11 Englishmen with names like that. Peter, Paul, Matthew. Where he come from over there? All 11 of his white boys, except the nigga that killed Christ, he an Arab Jew. Judah. And you put that crap down on your children and wonder why these niggas are so cold? In your mind.
And we are back. I hope y'all enjoying this. I know my black ass is. You're listening to Hours of Powers debates right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. And hey, it's getting good up in here. And I need y'all to hit them damn likes. I don't want to have to come back on this camera. All right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, I will haunt you and your black ass mama in her dreams. But when we left off, Brother Jay Sean was coming with a question. So we're going to continue. We're going to do a little more back and forth, a little more rebuttals, and then I think we're going to take some questions from the chat room. So we left off with Brother Jay Sean. So Brother Jay Sean, continue, my brother.
All right. First of all, I want to say I appreciate SKC. Doing the back and forth thing, because it's back and forth thing is better than because I'm waiting for you to talk for 6 minutes and you waiting for me to talk for 6 minutes. I don't know how yeah. So
that is kind of crazy. I kind of like the back and forth better.
Yeah. As long as it's respectful. Yeah, we got two brothers who respect each other. Cool.
Yeah, I like that better. I kind of like it better.
But so as a side note, Jay Sean, it's like, do you understand that a lot of times when bros like me and you, here we are on two totally different sides of an idea,
right?
And yet we can have a respectful conversation.
Gotta be.
And it's like, but you understand that a lot of times we as black people, we have a problem with doing this.
Yeah, you do. And go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I think a lot of that has to do with culture.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, culture is something that can be created. You know what I mean? And, and the truth of the matter is black culture is a subculture of white culture. You see what I'm saying? We didn't create our language and our lingo on our own. That's why New Yorkers like me talk the way we talk. We got that from white immigrants from the city, you know what I mean, who talk the way they talk. Black people in the South talk the way they talk because they got it from, white people in the South who talk the way they talk. You know what I mean? We are a subculture of white society. The problem is, white society has been able to rebrand itself over and over again because they have the instruments and they have the media to do so. They don't promote all the fuckery that's going on in their society. That's why I would invite brothers to go out to white societies, man. Go get a house in white society, go live there and see what's really going on in white society, man. I go to work with white people all the time. You have no idea what the fuck is going on with them. You know what I mean? Now, now they might not have, all these baby mamas, but they do. They what they do is they get married 3 or 4 times. You see what I'm saying? Versus where we don't. You see what I'm saying? We go out and have, multiple baby mothers, or a woman have multiple baby daddies, but you got white society where they got multiple fathers to their kids too. They got multiple, wives too. You know what I mean? They just do it differently. And but that whole marriage thing is a resource thing. So when we talk about resources, we have to go into history. We did not get here overnight. You know what I mean? So on my live stream, when I point out, racial covenants and redlining and how that shit became policy with the banks and all that kind of stuff, we had openly mobile black people who were trying, and they got run out of town, or they got their houses burnt down, and this went on for 100 years, man. You can't just sit here and look at your people in 2019 and be like, damn, look at this bullshit right here. I don't want nothing to do with it. You got to ask the question how they get here, because you mentioned your grandfather. You know what I mean? And I can mention my grandfather. I can mention my grandmother. I can mention my aunts. I talk about them all the time because they gave me an example of what black womanhood should be. So the question we have to ask is, what the fuck happened? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay,
environments, we all know environments are created. And the question I was going to ask you is this. We all know environments are created. So my thing is creating a new environment. Why are you brothers hell-bent on not creating a new environment? I'm not talking about, bringing yourself down to what's going on out here right now. I'm talking about creating something new, creating a better future.
Okay, so the interesting thing with that, Jay Shine, is how earlier you were talking about being balanced.
Yeah.
And I think that bringing balance to a conversation is extremely important. Now, when we talk about the past, there's an imbalanced view, as if every interracial union was some type of rape or force or something like that. And it's like, no, there were, and that's why I showed the video of all bros way back in time. You can go all the way back into the early 1600s, where you have brothers that was with women of other cultures, of other nationalities, and the whole nine. So to push this whole idea of African Americans being that we're just black and we have to stick with each other and so forth. Okay, well, a lot of the success that was brought out were by individuals that were of multiple cultures. And it was because of those multiple cultures and their ability to be able to move from here and there, which actually helped other black people to gain certain rights. You even think about the first lady that had banks within Black America. I forget her name, Maggie something in Virginia. But her father was a doggone Confederate soldier, and it wasn't force. Her mother went out for that relationship, and it was actually the father that helped her to fund her bank and to be able to make deals in Richmond for that to take place. That black bank survived the Great Depression. Okay, but it was brought together by a union of two individuals from two different cultures. And it helped tons of black people with insurance and all sorts of things, buildings and the whole nine. There's a doggone statue to the woman to this day. And when you go look it up in the newspaper, even online, you see her relatives there, and all of them look like black people that you can't even tell from another black person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all of this stuff about, oh, no, you can't get with this person or this person. No, we're already mixed. We've been mixed for a long time. And we're trying to hide that and push it like, oh, it was all forced. No, it wasn't. Hell, I got a doggone on my grandmother's side, a Spanish sailor. So it's like, what are people talking about? That's what I'm saying so far as the balance. People want to act like everything was victimized, and it wasn't.
Well, look, races are going to mix. When you create a melting pot like America, races are going to mix. That's going to happen. But it's not act like, black men had fucking full access to white women until the 60s. All right. Let's not act like that. Because before then, you got your ass killed. All right. Let's not act like, for over 300 plus years, it was pretty much white men with black women. And even though some of it might have been, you might say that, the women went with it. Look, when you're in a system of white supremacy, real white supremacy, you talking about slavery, Jim Crow, women are, it's not always forced because it's coerced. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to turn down men of power. You create a condition in the world. Like, all right, for instance, you have all the money in the world, right? You're the rich man on your block, and everybody below you is poor. You control those people, SKC. You control them. They want to eat. They want better. So they want to do whatever you say. You see what I'm saying? You put them in a position where they're struggling and they're trying to survive, and you know what I mean? So you can't sit here and say that the women who went along with some of the white men back in, say, the early 1900s or the 1800s, it was fucking, it was voluntary. No, it wasn't. What were they going to do? What were they going to do? Go back to the plantation? Those were the options. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the squalor? Those were the options. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, some of them went ahead and went with Zaddy on purpose. It was coerced. You were in an environment where you coerce things. It's no different than that police officer who raped all them black women and went to jail. A lot of the shit he was doing was coercion. He would look up her history and see that she got a record, and he would threaten her, and whatever the case might be, and he would take that pussy. You see what I'm saying?
And here we go, Jay Shine. Have you ever read Daughters of the Trade?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look at some of that history, That's all not coercion, man.
I beg to differ. When you have a power structure,
why do we keep pushing this whole thing of everything that happened back then, coercion? No, there was some black people that got with Indian people because they actually loved them.
Really?
Yeah.
You call that love? All right. All right. Look, this is where we're going to have to
go look at the story of Captain Paul.
No. We're going to have to disagree on this, because when you live in a society that violent towards black people, where they control all the resources, and you're going to sit here and tell me that's not a system of coercion? Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, you're not dealing with people on an equal plane, brother. These black people were not on an equal plane. They were in a complete system of oppression. They had nothing. On my video, I showed up to the 1960s where black people were called migrants. We were the ones on those corners like the Latinos are now, looking for work, going around the country picking beans and picking fruit. That was us up into the 60s, man. That was our fucking state of being in this country. We had zero. We had nothing. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, we're supposed to be dead right now. Now, I'm not going to, now for the life of me, you can do what you want. I'm not going to come through all of that, everything that we've been through in America, and then be where I'm at economically, and then turn it over to a Becky. I'm not going to do it for so-called happiness. I care about a black future. You know what I mean? I care about a black future. My daughter is dark skinned. She's black. She's ADOS. I want to continue that. We have a distinct group. In India, you have distinct groups. All right? You have distinct groups. Racially, they're the same people.
Okay.
But they have distinct groups, and they come over here and they operate as distinct groups. Same thing amongst white folks.
So I have a question for you then. Okay, so 1968, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that from that era, and I'll make it a little bit further. I'll say 75 to 2019. What is it that you are most proud of from those eras that you're passing down to your daughter?
Oh, I'm proud of it, man. I can't stop at 75. That's one thing I can't do. But you know what? I tell you what. From 75 on, man, you know, given the fact that even after the civil rights movement, they pushed us into these ghettos. You had another round of white flight. They sucked out all the resources. They started creating this mass incarceration system. They gave liquor licenses to everybody who wanted to put liquor store in the black community. They took out all the jobs. They started giving jobs exclusively to black women. These are things that were done on purpose. They even had reports about this shit. You know, one of them being the Monahan report, which is back in the 60s, but they knew what would happen to us if we continued this track, and they sped it up. All right, they over-policed us. Then they let drugs come in the country, into the community. We all know the CIA has something to do with that. We all know what happened now. It's all out now. So we know that this community has been targeted. We were targeted for destruction. That's why I say, for all intents and purposes, we should be dead. That alone, I'm proud of, that we're still here. All right, for one. Two, now in that moment, I'm gonna tell you what we did inside that moment, even from the ghettos. From the ghettos, we revolutionized sports. We continued to change music. We created new lanes of opportunity. Black men did that. I'm proud of that. You see what I'm saying? I'm proud of that. That's something to be proud of. I'm coming from New York City. I'm born in 1977. I come from New York City. And I grew up in the hip-hop era. And we created that shit out of nothing. You see what I'm saying? Now it's a multi-billion-dollar, it's a global, industry now. That came from black men. No matter, even though it's been commandeered by white folk and taken over by white folk, the bottom line is that shows our promise. No matter what condition we've been put in for the last 400 fucking years, we've been able to leapfrog that shit and create something new. That's something to be proud of.
So you are proud of the hip hop industry?
Yeah. Not in this current form, because it's not ours no more. You see what I'm saying? See that? This is where we're going to get into it, man. The current industry of hip hop is ran by whites, just like VH1 is ran by whites. I'm over here in Germany. All they do is show that bullshit that's on VH1 over here. They don't show anything positive. Those are white folks doing that.
So isn't that a loss?
No. There's white folks doing that.
I understand that.
So I don't look at it as a loss. I can't look at it as a loss.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is this, Jay Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you create, like right now, you're a businessman. You create, and so am I. We work for ourselves, right? I think everybody up here, even X, works for themselves. Okay, so you build it, and by the time it gets passed down to your daughter,
yeah,
it's gone. A white man owns it. Is that a win?
No, it's a loss. It's a heavy
And
loss.
that's what I'm saying. So how could you be happy about hip hop?
No. I'm happy the fact that we could persevere no matter what conditions we been put in. That's what I'm saying. I'm not looking at the end result. The end result comes from, again, a lack of code of conduct amongst the men.
Well, the end result is everything.
Now hold up. Now there's some white
Like
lights.
we always focus in on all the things of causation and what happened and the whys and so forth. But it's very hard for Black people to sit down and understand outcomes and results and to just own up to it.
Right.
It's a loss, dude. It's a freaking loss,
brother. I just said it was a loss.
And it's not even a loss. It hurt us.
I understand that, brother. Listen, a lot of things hurt us.
Bad.
A lot of things hurt us.
But
you trying to tell me, hold up, hip hop hurt us worse than slavery did? Hip hop hurt us worse than fucking Jim Crow did? I mean, what are you talking about? It's all been a loss. We've never been in a good situation in America.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is you're taking pride in something that was built by Black people and then was turned into a tool to damage them.
Hold up, boss. Like, I don't want to get too personal. What I'm talking about is the fact that you brought your grandfather up. That means you're proud of your grandfather, right? You're proud of your grandfather, right? Did he live through an era of loss? You see what I'm saying? So I'm not supposed to be proud of my grandmother, my grandparents because they lost, because that generation lost. We got to keep moving, fam. The loss is not the issue. The issue is the future. We learn from the mistakes. We learn from the past. That's the point. And here's the thing. Here's the thing you never answered earlier. I forgot to mention this. I asked you a question earlier in this debate. I said, all right, fine. I can agree that Black women can learn a lot from other women, how they operate, as far as their attitudes and stuff like that. We can agree on that. My question to you was, how come we're not operating like Black other groups of men? Why are we not operating like them? They operate as groups.
Now that's the point that it's a really good question that you asked, because from what I'm seeing, the S.Y.S.B.M bros are taking cues from various cultures and then inculcating that into something new that they can use in order to grow. I mean, you take, for instance, just the listing of individuals. Go to a mad bus driver. He's using visual data to prove different things that Black women bring up about, oh man, if you go over there with these women and so forth, they will tear you out the frame and put you in jail and so forth. He shows since 2014, he's been showing visual data to disprove that virtually every couple of days. Babatunde Imano over in the UK, he has 2 books, a website, and a forum for S.Y.S.B.M bros that trade information to help each other out. You have Kitagakade Jones, he's in finance. He shares financial, philosophical, and sociological information that's peer reviewed and shows a good outcomes for S.Y.S.B.M. Then you got King Sigma. He shares historical and current up to date political information. And I have to kind of bang on my chest a little bit, because my exact wording of "burn the doggone community down" came up in a Democratic ad that was put out in the Huffington Post. Then you got Sigma Jones. Let's be frank. They open up panels about future discussions, nuanced topics such as like family and so forth. Dr. Phoenix, he comes on different panels, shares medical evidence about S.Y.S.B.M and why it's a good thing for Black men and how to protect yourself from different things that have to do with the community. You talk about B.A. He created the Black Avenger. It's not a free speech Avenger. He got a website for all Black men, but he's originally S.Y.S.B.M, giving people outlet outside of YouTube to be able to create whatever they want. Then you got other brothers like Black Ram. Obsidian just planted his flag with S.Y.S.B.M. Kevin Samuels. You got Pablo Frescobar, who has a Facebook group that is by invite only, but it's over 25,000 brothers strong that's sharing business information.
Hold on, let me jump in.
I mean, come on now.
Hold on, let me jump in. Let me jump in for a second, because I want to ask a question of both of you. When we talk about the whole save yourself, Black men, when you think of that, do you just think of saving yourself from the women? Do you think of saving yourself from Black society as a whole? saving yourself from the ills and the depravity of black society. I mean, when you brothers talk about save yourself, black men, and this is for both of you. What are you saying? What are you saying? I know that you're against it, brother Jay Shine. I know you're for it, brother Supreme. But what is the ideal of the whole save yourself, black men, in both of your opinions?
Well, just to respond to what he just said, and I'm gonna answer that question in a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Like
go ahead.
a lot of people you listen, you named. Let me say this real quick, and I ain't trying to start no beef with nobody. But a lot of niggas you just listed on your little list, your little YouTube list, a lot of them are still fucking black women, by the way. Some of them brothers even have children by black women,
and they should.
You see what I'm saying? So my question is, saving yourself from what, man? There's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to save yourself to. That the whole notion of the word save, to me, puts you in victim status. I don't need to be saved by nobody. Look, when you asked me a question earlier, SKC, about me living where I live and me buying where I live, you know what I mean? Look, I'm all about getting your paper. Like I say, get to the purple. You know what I mean? And getting to where you need to get to financially so you can make things happen in life for yourself, for your family, et cetera, et cetera. But the bottom line is that all that shit y'all niggas is doing as far as getting your money up, you're doing it for Becky. See, at the end of the day, when you create a family with another woman, you bring in all your resources and everything you work for to that white woman. I'm just keeping it 100 real with you. All right.
Should you give it to a black woman who's trying to tear you out the frame?
No, hell no. Shout out to Nicole. I love that statement.
What do you?
Hold on,
what I'm saying is this.
Hold on, brother Supreme, because I want him to finish, and then I want him to answer the S.Y.B.M question. Then you can rebut. Then you can answer.
All right. So this is what I'm saying. Look, you guys want to create stability. Y'all want to have families, right? Families are business. All right. Families are business. When you go over there to Mei Ling and you go over to that white woman, and you already in the right community, you're taking all your resources and you pumping it that way. I'm not telling you to go be with a wayward black woman. No, I'm not telling you to be a simp. I'm not telling you to do none of that shit. What I'm telling you to do is find you a good black woman if you can. You know what I'm saying? If you can't find one here, do what fucking Art did. Art went down to Brazil and found him a black woman. You see what I'm saying? Do what some of the other brothers, they're going out to Africa. This, like you said before, there's other black people on the planet. You can create something different. You can create something new. You know what I mean? MGTOW was with a movement for a long time. I used to consider myself that until I found out it had nothing to do with sex, because I'm not that. I deal with nothing but black women. Black women I talk to over here, they're officers, they're officials in government, they're contractors. You know what I mean? There's a lot of upwardly mobile black women out here. I don't know what environments you guys are living in. You know what I mean? I don't live in Ratchetville. And most of you brothers who are S.Y.S.B.M don't live there neither. So I'm trying to figure out, why are you not even trying to procreate yourself, duplicate yourself, which is only through the black womb. You know what I mean? And you're going to take your genetic material and get with a genetically recessive person and call that new blackness. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Zach Levine, Aaron Gordon, Blake Griffin, Steph Curry, what's my man over there that plays with him, one of the other Splash brother. He's hurt right now. Anyway, that's considered black. And then a lot of those brothers are going to mix with white girls. Blake Griffin already has done that. And then that's going to be considered black. Soledad O'Brien is light as I don't know what. She got a white man and she's calling her kids black. That means we're talking about miscegenation at this point. All right, we're talking about practicing voluntary miscegenation at this point, and I can't agree with that. As a group that came through what we came through, we should have pride. Jews take pride in their history, and they take what happened to them in the Holocaust and they wear it like a badge of honor, and they don't fucking run from it. And I don't think we should either, because I'm telling you something else. Coming through all we came through, we still created some of the greatest inventions from black society. Came out of black society, came out of America, which not only improved American society, improved the world. We created the arts, the music. We revolutionized sports. We've done a lot of great things in Black America, even in our condition. The question is, when we're going to finally say, you know what, enough is enough, come together and say, you know what, we want a better future. I want a seat at the table. I don't want pussy. I want the other five-letter word. I want power. And power is a group phenomenon. You can't go out here and practice rugged individualism and have power. It's not going to happen. You're just going to be an educated brother over here doing good with your white wife. You're going to be a scientist over here with your fucking Latin wife. You're going to be, an engineer over here with your Asian wife. But you're not going to, you're not going to have any power. You're going to just be wrestled in somebody else's patriarchy. So I'm trying to figure out how's S.Y.S.B.M, the same thing you would say to the black women. How's black matriarchy go up against all of this white patriarchy, all this Indian patriarchy, all this African patriarchy, all this Asian patriarchy? How are we going to compete in the world as a group of men if we're practicing rugged individualism?
The way that they are right now. I mean, you want to say the whole thing about passport and so forth. Well, when it comes to Black America, I think the last stat was about 5 to 8% of individuals that have passports and so forth. So those individuals, those are your doctors, your lawyers, your economists, or ambassadors, your military personnel, your various individuals that are basically in upper society. They make up the bulk of that. So those individuals are not dummies. Those individuals know what's going on in other lands. They have contacts and networks. Some of them speak several languages and understand the whole scope of globalization. So those individuals are successful. They group within themselves and they build. Right. Now, it's interesting to me that on a lot of occasions, people will say, you know what, S.Y.S.B.M bros and so forth. I can't understand why you don't want to do this, why you don't want to do that, and so forth. Hey, before all of this, years ago, people were saying, oh man, it doesn't matter anyway. You're such a small, insignificant group. Who cares? Bye. Now people want to have discussions about it. Now people want to keep these dudes in their mouth. Why? Because they know that these are the individuals that can produce, that have resources. They have the ability to be able to build the things that they want. But you don't understand that the brothers have already stated, we don't want nothing to do with all of that bull crap, because we don't want to have to try to uplift individuals that on many occasions were downplaying what we were trying to do in the first place. Heck, some of the worst tragedies that happen within Black America are some of the great minds being destroyed by its own people. Am I lying, Jay Shine?
I don't agree with that.
Huh.
I don't agree with that. Let me tell you why I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because that flies in the face of everything you just laid out. You just talked about all of these brothers in the world who are doing great things. And guess what? I'm over here working with them. All right? I'm working with other Black professionals over here. And they not, look, they get together to hang out, but we're not building anything together. That's not true. We're not building any networks. And the question is, if we're building Black networks, then what are we building Black networks for? I just thought you said fuck the community. It sounds like you know what I mean? It's like you're going in and out. You know what I mean? Like you're going in and out. Like you're building Black networks for what? Because let me tell you what happens. These cats are saturated, man. These cats are saturated. They are uply mobile Black men who are under other people's power. You come over here to Germany and you work within this society, you live here. 9 times out of 10, the smart thing to do is get you a German wife because you're not a citizen over here. Right. So if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to become part of society. It's like there's no different than if you're going to live in Japan or anywhere else on the planet. You know, you're going to live with those. You're going to get one of those women. No different than people who have actual power, like Asians and white people. When they go to Africa, you know what they do? They marry into the, the top echelons of, Black society in those countries, et cetera, so on and so forth. This is not anything different than any group does. But what's different about us is that the upward mobile Asian man, the upward mobile white man, does not give a fuck about the ghetto white person. They group together and create white power, and they drag the rest of their society with them. You understand me? It was Senator Byrd who famously said, he's deceased, but he used to be a Ku Klux Klan member back in the day. And I'm gonna show you how white society works. He was from West Virginia, and he used to talk down on the poor white people in his state. He used to call them white niggas and all kind of shit. You see what I'm saying? They look down on them, but you know what? They're on cold when it comes to your Black ass. And the same brothers that are out here who feel the way you feel about Black society, what we've ran into for the last 20, 30 years, since I've been a professional for the last 20 some plus years in government and contracting, what we find out is that at this level, we still run into racism.
Correct.
And that's what brings us together again. So now we here at this level. We've separated ourselves from the lower ends of black society. We uply mobile. We out of the ghettos. We out here rocking. We making paper. We meeting different people. We meeting different races of women. We doing our thing. But we still run into this fucking ceiling, and that brings us right back together.
And
you understand me?
And that's where some of the, I would say the misapplication is because you paint this story that I believe that's a bit imbalanced. You paint this story as if these black professionals go out and then they every single 99.9% of the time they come across a situation to where they come across some racist dude and they need to work with other black people in order to overcome this racism. And yet, in real life, there's lots of occasions where I've been in the situation where I've seen some racist person come up with this or that, and a person from another culture co-signs and helps me to overcome it. So you trying to act like, oh man, we didn't build networks only with black people. No, you build networks with other smart people, other intellectuals, other people that understand money over a skin color. And that happens. And you all act as if it doesn't. And that's a lie.
No, I disagree, brother. I disagree. That's not how the world works. That's not how the world works, brother.
Okay.
I'm in the world. I'm watching other groups of men. They operate as groups of men. That's just the way it is. Now, look, we, in our society, it's going to be brothers who get through. It's not a complete system of oppression like it used to be. There's going to be brothers who get through, and they love when you uply mobile athletes or uply mobile scientists and uply mobile black lawyers take on one of their daughters, right? Because now that's a person who has resources. That's how they look at you. You see what I'm saying? You're just a resource. You're just a man with money, and they love your money coming over into their society. So at the end of the day, what brothers need to understand is this: the world operates as groups. Okay, that's how the world operates. Period. There's no way. There's no getting around that. Germans operate as Germans. French men operate as French men. They're not giving power to no black French people. They don't give a fuck if you speak the language. They're keeping that shit white. Hold on. I just watched an impeachment hearing go on back in the States. And I watched one party that's mixed, right? Got some black folk and some Latinos and all that, but it's still operated by and owned by white people called the Democrats. All right. Most of their leadership is white. Most of the people still in that party are white. Then you got a whole nother party on the other side that's all white. That's power, fam. You live in a country that's diverse. We're almost 40 million strong in America. And look how many white people are still in Congress and in the Senate. That's white power, fam. They're not relinquishing that. You're going to have to take that. And the only way to take that is operating as a group. You cannot do it as an individual. You can't. There's no way around that shit. There's no way around it. I want power, fam. And I understand that. Look, for all intents and purposes, and I'm just going to give you some real talk here, man. Between me and you, brother, for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't give a fuck. Right? Jay Sean, good. I'm good, man. Financially, I'm good, fam. I'm doing very well. Yeah, my daughter's well. We good over here. But because I want a black future, then we talk about power dynamics. And when I look at power dynamics, I have to look at the world. And there's a lot of groups of men in the chat room right now who don't understand how the world works. I don't give a fuck if you make. I don't care. Look. If I'm lying, ask Byron Allen. If I'm lying, ask Robert Smith. Ask those brothers who are billionaires, right? Or 100 millionaires. What's racism they dealing with now? Every level you go, you got. Look, they can't. And what did Allen have to do? He had to come back and get some help from the streets. He had to come back and get help from black people to get his cause going because they tried to attack a fucking law that helped us. And not only helps us, helps other, people of color in the country. See, no matter what level of the game you on, you're going to deal with racism.
Okay, so on that point, Jay Sean, we'll get together later behind the scenes. I want to show you some things.
Hold on, time out. So, let me cut you off real quick. There's a brother in the chat room who said something really crazy. I got to say something about this. It's not towards you. But he said Germans and Russians are nationalities, not white racial constructs. It's bullshit. Show me the black people leading those countries. Show me any other race that's leading those countries. And it's pretty. Germany is a multinational country. It's a there's millions of Turks here.
Jay Sean, just you got to chill on that because you're talking about a lot of individuals. They don't have a passport. They just read.
No, and I
So,
like and Charles Merchant is my guy. I got respect for Charles Merchant. I've seen him around, but I can't believe he made that statement, dude.
Well,
white people are not relinquishing power in Britain. I just watched Britain do their fucking parliament, and that shit is still majority white with all those Africans in that country, all those black British people over there. Shout out to Baba Matune. Where the power?
well,
Y'all getting a lot of Becky dick. Y'all getting a lot of pussy from Becky, but you don't have any power.
We're gonna go one more round, and then we'll entertain, some shit from the chat, because I'm pretty sure brothers out there got questions. So we'll do one more round.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll do one more round, and then we'll feel some shit from the chat. So go ahead, continue.
Okay, so Jay Shine, do you actually believe that the power that you're trying to acquire, do you believe that it can be acquired in your lifetime?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
So you're projecting, right?
Correct.
You're forecasting that certain things need to be done in order for this power to be acquired, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now at that point, in order for you to make that future projection, what you have to do is create a culture that the future generation is going to attach themselves to and not abandon, in order for your plan of power to be realized, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't think that was tried before?
Yeah, we know it has been tried before.
Right.
We
have history that proved that that exactly was tried before. And then you had a generation of individuals that just said, heck with all of that. I'm trying to get mine right now. Right.
Correct. And that's how I see y'all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, one of the weird things about the situation that you're stating is what plan can you put in place that's oral and not written?
Well, I'll tell you what. I want to know. I got a better question. When, because this is happening on a lot of different levels, but we got a lot of groups. They're doing the same. They're executing the same plan in America. You have immigrant groups who come to America. They set up businesses. They create their own communities. They practice group economics. They stay pretty much to themselves. They live off the black dollar, whether it's a gas station, a Chinese restaurant, a cleaners, a nail shop, whatever the case might be. Where's the written document for them?
They're written document. They're written document.
I'm saying, brother, we don't need a written document. We black people. We know the history. We know what we need to do.
Can I answer?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's their country.
Okay, good.
They are holding to written documents that are linked to the culture of their country. But the problem with Black America is that you have so many Black Americans that do not feel that American culture is legitimate, and they reject it. And then if you want to go to a whole nother culture, what are you going to go to? Africa? What part of Africa? Africa rejects you. So where are you going to start with your culture? Post-slavery, 1865?
Okay, you talking my business. You talking my language now. If you open this conversation up with there's other black people on the planet, we're not the only black people, right? So fine, I'm with that. I'm with you on that. I'm saying fuck Africa too. We are the distinct group, right? We're a distinct group in America who came through a distinct situation. We came through a distinct experience. No one has been through
your culture, regardless of if you say we are a distinct people, that means that your culture has to, by definition, has to be tied in with the land of America and its statutes and its laws and its culture. It has to be merged into it. You can't reject it. And if you do, you reject yourself.
Now, hold up. Now, is America really living to its goddamn laws? Because the last time I checked, the Constitution gets violated every day. The reason why it gets violated every day because it has to be enforced. And who enforces the laws in society in America? White men. You understand me? So that's why their boys don't go to jail for rape, but yours will, even if you didn't commit the rape. All these black men get out of jail for 20, 30 years because of DNA saying they ain't even rape. Look at the injustice in our system because we have no power, family. We have no power.
Okay, so if you go back to all of that, then
No,
where
my point was, hold on, before my total answer is this. It has the documents in the culture in America does not matter. It doesn't matter.
it matters,
No, it does
is
not.
it
It's
is
all
the
about power. Look,
foundation
man,
of everything.
you can have tenants over there with S.Y.S.B.M, but it still has to be enforced. It still has to be executed. Correct? You know what I mean? That takes resources and it takes ability to do so. A lot of brothers ain't gonna have the ability to travel around the world and do what you're doing. You talking about a select group of men, black men, for one.
That's right.
All right.
That's
So
right.
we'll talk about numbers.
It's not for everyone.
So we talk about numbers, exactly. So we talk about numbers, right? There's 19.5 black men in America. All right. Most of us are still gonna be dealing with black women. So that means the black issue still needs to be dealt with. And we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with this shit. That's my position.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
What do you mean we don't? We got a future. Hold up. We got black children out here. I got a fucking nephew coming up who just born. Yes, we do got to figure this shit out.
You ever heard of the Titanic?
No. There's no such thing.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I heard of it, but we're not the Titanic, boss. We never been a boat. That's my point. We never been a boat. We've always been scattered and pushed around the country. That's our history, man. It's time for, look, if y'all believe mobile black men, y'all thinking black men, once y'all think a way out of this situation, go on to Becky and practice involuntary miscegenation. Ain't the fucking answer. That's not the answer.
For you, because you have this viewpoint of trying to save everybody, and you can't do that.
No, we're not gonna save everybody. That's bullshit.
Because the majority doesn't want it. The majority doesn't want it.
The majority don't know what the fuck they want, man. Just like the majority of Chinese don't know what they want. They just want to live. They just want to exist. The majority of Chinese right now in China are drinking, smoking, having a good time, and they're gonna get up and work their bullshit job and get off and do the same bullshit. We're no different than any group of other people on the planet.
Except they have their own land.
No, we have our own land too. America's our land too, and that's what I'm saying. The powerlessness. I'm not forfeiting that shit, SKC.
But even if you say, okay, we do too in America, then that means that you have to accept and abide by American culture and laws.
I abide by the Constitution, and I'm telling you right now, the Constitution is not being followed.
You cannot call it illegitimate.
I didn't say it's illegitimate. I didn't say that. I said it's not being enforced.
But the majority of black people are rejecting it.
I don't care. Look, bro, if you want to be in a power position, if you want to be a leader, I don't give a fuck what simpletons want. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's another conversation I can have right now with, say, the so-called community, right? I could be in a debate right now with some hood niggas and they won't agree with me because exactly what you just said. And you absolutely right, HKC. They can't see it. They don't have the vision. But for those of us who do have the vision, those of us who've been out in the world, and those of us who understand how the world works, we understand what we need to do to create a black future. I'm not talking about being nice. I'm not talking about Cowtown. I'm not telling you to pull your pants down, nigga, and go be like the motherfuckers. I'm not telling you to do that.
You cannot bring a group together without sound laws. If you reject American laws and push to them this whole idea of, you know what, it's not being followed correctly and so forth. Okay, well, what are you going to substitute it with? Because you cannot have a society that does not have some standard and sets of laws.
I'm going to tell you something, man. The reason why Arab men and white men and other groups of men could dictate to their women how things are going to be is because they control resources. And that's why I tell brothers to get to that purple. A lot of us are not in a position to argue about it. The bottom line is that when you talk about America, you talk about the land and the laws and all that shit, and who's abiding by what, so are they. They're abiding by the abortion laws. They're abiding by family court laws. And I'm going to tell you something else. The so-called red pill community, the white boys that I met, a white man approached me in the courthouse and then had me standing in front of the judiciary community giving testimony in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia. You see what I'm saying? They're about changing the laws. I want black men to come together to fix our situation politically and economically. And that's not going to happen in my lifetime. I know that. But when you create a mindset of fuck the community, it's never going to get done. You're going to have niggas going to the four corners of the earth. And the best of us are going to be gone, and then the rest of it's going to dissipate, and we're going to be destroyed. And the bottom line is it's going to be over. I'm not worried about what's here now, or even what happened in the 80s or 90s. I'm talking about the future. We see what the problem is. We see what was created. We see how it happened. Those of us who know the history, we see how it happened. Now, moving forward, what do we do about it? I'm not going to snuggle up in the bosom or the chest of a white man's community and go lay up and be happy with that. I don't like being policed by other men. I don't like being controlled by other men. I don't like other groups of men meeting the side of my fate. And I don't give a fuck how much money you got. That's exactly what's happening.
Well, you can say all of the want that you want, But in this time, the world pretty much operates by democracy. Those democracies were built upon majorly parts of Roman, Greek, and a little bit of Italian, and a tiny bit of Jewish law. So if you don't abide by those things or understand those concepts and are trying to go by this whole thing of monarchy and despotism, oh man, I just want to rule my way and all this other, no, that stuff is played out, man. It ain't gonna ride anywhere in any system, because the systems that are set in place are set to destroy those.
You just made my point, brother. You just made my point.
And a lot of people don't even understand how those laws work or how even to use them to their advantage.
It doesn't matter. Look, we have laws right now.
Individuals sit back and they say, you know what? It's all messed up. It's wrong. You can't even work within the system. Okay, well, what are you going to replace it with? You got to have something for people.
Listen, man, look, white people in America don't even abide by the Constitution. You understand me? They do what the fuck they want to do.
Okay, man.
They do what they want to do. They violate the Constitution whenever they fucking feel like it. Then they hide behind the Constitution whenever they feel like it. I.e., Second Amendment. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is this: you just made my point for me. So whether it's a democracy, hold on, let me finish. Whether it's a democracy, whether it's a republic, whether it's a monarchy, who's in power, man? That's all that matters. That's how the world operates. The fucking Turks over here don't give a fuck about no German laws. They're gonna carve out their own community and do their fucking thing. Asians don't care about the goddamn vote in America. There are only 4 million of them in America, but they got paper. So when a car girlie kills a black man, you got Koreans and Chinese people out here marching in the streets. These Mei-Lings you want to hook up with, and then they give money to a fucking black prosecutor, and they get this fucking Asian cat off, even though he was convicted. He ain't doing no time. That's power. Ain't got to do with the fucking laws. Ain't got to do with justice. It's about power. It's raw, unadulterated power, like my man said in fucking Star Wars. Unadulterated power. It's all about power with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Just outrageous. Fuck the Senate. Fuck all that shit. I'm Palpatine. I'm taking over this shit. Power. You know what I mean? That's how everybody's out here striving for power. And the only reason I'm saying this to you, SKC, is this. You know what I mean? Look, I understand where you guys are coming from. I get what you see. I know it. I've dealt with it. You know what I mean? I get it. But the bottom line is, when I'm forecasting to the future, and Blackheart was probably right. Blackheart said I'm ahead of my time because niggas ain't ready to receive this message. I'm looking at power dynamics. It's not about the women with me. I really don't give a shit about them. I don't even think on that level because they're irrelevant to me. And no disrespect to the women. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think, as a man, I don't think about them. I think about power, and I think about how I can get more for myself and more for my family. And then I got to look at my daughter. I got to look at my projected, grandchildren, my projected nephew and his grandchildren, his children. And, I'm an uncle now. We have responsibilities, man. And then I look back at my history. I look at the women who raised me, my grandmother, my great aunts. You know what I'm saying? And I know black women weren't like this before. So the question remains, two questions remains. One, how did we get like this? And then two, how do we create a black future? And I don't see S.Y.B.M as a way. That's why I'm banging against it.
All right. So my last thing.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. I'm gonna let him rebut. This is gonna be the final round, and then we're gonna do closing statements. We're gonna take a little break. Then we're gonna field some questions from the chat. So go ahead, and rebut, brother Supreme.
And I want to
and we're gonna do final statements after that. All right, and try to keep the final statements to like 5 minutes. You're gonna be on the clock. You're gonna be on the clock. Go ahead, brother Supreme.
I mean, well, just real quick, Jay Shine. We'll do this in the closing, man. But the whole thought about power, I understand that that's important to you. I really get that. But I think the brother that stated that you maybe be thinking of beyond your time, I think he hit it spot on, because as of right now, I don't think that black people are prepared for such power. Could you imagine right now in 2020, black people having the power that you're talking about? Mm-hmm. I mean, the mindset of the community at the moment doesn't even know how to utilize quant to its advantage. Mm-hmm. You pretty much have a doggone miniature tricorder in your hand that you can get information from all over, from pretty much any decade, any century that you want. And people don't even know how to use it. They rather go in the bathroom and take a shot of their ass. I mean, you can't make this junk up. So when you say the whole idea of power for yourself, yeah, that may be a good idea for you. But right now, in reality, dealing with the group of individuals, Black individuals that are in America on planet Earth right now, S.Y.S.B.M gives brothers the opportunity to build viable families, pass down the good things of Black culture, which most of it is post 1968 or pre 1968 rather, and to try to weed out some of the negative things that are continually drawing us down into the ground. We're choking on ourselves. There hasn't been a moment in time where Black people have had this amount of opportunity placed in their lap, and they're throwing it away over nothing. They're crying about simple things, man. White supremacy, this and that, and so forth. Dude, you know how many individuals can create businesses for themselves right now? Just this form in itself is the ability to transfer information amongst each other, which our grandfathers couldn't do. They wanted to do stuff like this, but they couldn't. We have it, and we're complaining that about having conversations about slavery and things that happened to Black people in the past. Those Black people in the past, I'm pretty sure if they were alive today, they would be telling us, don't be worried about us, fool, real right now. It just doesn't make any sense, man.
Well, that's going to end this round. Like I said, we're going to take another short break because that's the end of the second hour. You're listening to the Hours of Power debates right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. We got Brother Jay Shine debating Brother Supreme King Coon. When we come back, we're going to do final statements, and I'm going to make sure these brothers stay to 5 minutes up in here. But I'll see y'all back on the other side of the break. Listen to the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. Be right back, folks.
So.
Get on the beat. Let the sun is let the world know. Let everybody rock with this weird. Sure, bro. I know it's you, bro. I just think it's tough. Only focus on selling words. Arguing over God. Burning sage, you never heard. I'm focused on the youth. Building homes or putting work. I'm talking to you straight. Listen here, don't miss the chance. Don't mess me with these youths. Take the blues. So cold, hit a shoe. Do nothing but sing and spoon. The most lame and minuscule. Ideas in the interviews. Most childish and cynical. Cartoon niggas sitting looking like a Pikachu. Looking at him. Go on now, pick and choose. Hebrew, no Bobby, and more than short, some missing true. Ninjas, now I hear, listen to. I'm talking physics, while you still gon' speak in spiritual. Like build this house from Brownsville to Bankhead. Engineering projects with no need for no bank bread. Growing food, so we got no hungry, we stay fed. All hospitals, no dying in the apex. Listen hard, this is different shit, different shit. That's the race cars and the pavement bitch. That's the lane bars and the ignorant shit. Ignorant shit, Black power, focus on the business, bitch. I'm Black any time of day. I'm messing with these dudes that let your mind astray. I'm Black in every type of way, every way. I don't give a fuck what they have to say. I'm Black any time of day. I'm messing with these dudes that let your mind astray. I'm Black in every type of way. I don't give a fuck what they gotta say. I ain't Moorish, I ain't ACA. Please don't distort shit. I don't co-sign none of these lame ones. Funny ass hats, always talking about claims, something. Arguing over blackness, black that, black lives, black facts. When all I see is black blood, black crips with black cash, black scars from black tracks, black charge with black tax, black bar, no cashback, black every type of way. And I don't give a fuck what they gotta say. I'm black any time of day. I'm messing with these dudes that let your mind astray. I'm black in every type of way. And I don't give a fuck what they gotta say.
And we are back. Yeah. Another lively debate. Two brothers that I have great respect for, even though they stand on two sides of this here argument. The next round, I hope y'all are enjoying this and y'all can show your appreciation by putting some damn likes right up in here some damn well. You know, I've been getting on y'all all night about this, but y'all continue to make me do it. Do you really want me to haunt your black ass mom in her dreams? Do you want me to haunt you in your dreams? You don't hit that like button, you're going to wake up screaming at night. You're going to jump out of that bed. Oh, your wife going to be like, what the hell wrong with you, Negro? You seen X? He was just standing here. So if you don't want me standing by that bed tonight, you better hit that like button. Because right after I leave from standing by your bed, I'm going right in there to where your black ass mama at. And I'll be standing by her bed too. God damn it. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to do closing arguments. I am going to, good look on that super chat, Bomb Media. Appreciate that, brother. Good look on that, man. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do closing statements. I'm going to try to keep the brothers to 5 if I can. And after that, we'll field a few questions from the audience here and there and see what happens. So we left off with Brother Supreme. So we're going to hear closing statements from Brother Jay Shine. Brother Jay Shine, pull the trigger.
All right. Look, what I care about most importantly is a black future. What irritates me a little bit about some of these brothers who are S.Y.S.B.M, you know what I mean, is that they classify themselves as black men, but they're telling you blackness is not a real thing. You see what I'm saying? It's hypocrisy. You know what I mean? If you felt that way, if you felt blackness is not a real thing, it's a made up construct, whatever the case might be, then why are you calling yourselves black men? Why are you running around here talking about thinking black men? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They want to own the group. You know what I'm saying? They want to own the group, but they don't want to do nothing for the group. They want to do something for themselves. S.Y.B.M is just a new form to me of rugged individualism. We saw the women do it, and now we see the men doing it. And, you know, look, I'm not going to sit here and you know, be an apologist for some of the things that women have done, our sisters have done. But the way I look at the black women is I look at them as part of the system. A lot of dudes like to throw black pill and red pill and all these matrix terminologies out there. And the way I look at it is that there's a lot of us who are still part of the matrix. You got a lot of brothers out here who are still part of the matrix. You got brothers out here who in these corporate American offices and, you know, some of these black cops and some of these, you know, black brothers in government who are just on the same bullshit as some of these white sisters, these black sisters are. They won't help you neither. They're in your way too. So we have a lot of problems that plague us, but those problems stem from our history. All those problems stem from our history. We didn't just get here yesterday. And I think the whole mentality of save yourself, one is not one of just victimhood, you know what I mean? But it's also removing yourself from your own history. And no group of people do that. No group of men do that. So my question remains, and no one's been able to answer this question. Even my brother KC has not answered this question. If you want to sit here and say, all right, fine, I agree. Black women got a lot of work to do on their femininity, their attitude, and their behavior. Got it. All right. Not just the ratchet females in the hood. Some of our sisters who are on a higher level. Got it. All right. I get it. The question remains, why are not black men operating like other groups of men? If you want our women to take on, you know, attributes and behaviors of other women, why y'all not taking on the same behaviors as other men? You see what I'm saying? It's a flawed mentality. It's a one-sided mentality. It's only my side mentality. It's only about me. It's Marsha talk. You know what I'm saying? They want to stomp around and be goddamn, you know, brats about the shit. The bottom line is that as men, we're supposed to build. Period. Regardless of the situation. And the question I have for a lot of you brothers out here is like, all right, the fucking situation's fucked up. The community's fucked up. I get it. The situation is bad. But is it worse than slavery? Is it worse than, being in Jim Crow and, segregated South? Is it worse than that? You know what I'm saying? We've been in worse situations than this. You know what I mean? We've been in worse situations than this as a group of people. So if you're going to claim this group black, then you got to be about the group. And that group does not just include you. It includes the women and children too. So we have women and children in this group, and we're going to have a future. The majority of black men are going to be sleeping with black women. The majority so-called cis men, they already, to me, they shouldn't even be on this S.Y.S.B.M bullshit. Because if you already have black children, then I don't understand what the fuck you saving yourself from. Your child is still going to be in this. Your children are going to still be in this. And it's this so-called community. And I think we need to push to a future where we start building something new. I'm with that. If brothers want to get out here, separate themselves from hood culture and ratchet culture, I'm with that. So I don't embody that shit. I don't operate on that level. I don't walk around with my pants sagging and all that. I don't do none of that dumb shit. But I'll tell you one thing, those are still our soldiers out there. Every community is attached to their streets. That Russian oligarchies, they're attached to Russian mafia, who's attached to the Russian streets. Same thing with any other group of men when they come into these different countries. The oligarchs, the politics, all attached to the streets. You've seen it right now in America. You've seen the white streets connected to white politics. That's why you have a new wave of white nationalism. So now we're going to sit here in a time of Trump and white nationalism where you got cadets, young boys, young white boys flashing white power signs. And your answer is S.Y.S.B.M. Your answer to that is S.Y.S.B.M. They're going to practice white supremacy going forward because that's all they know. That's all they know. That's all they fucking know. There's no way around that shit. You can sit here and act like it don't exist, and you're still going to deal with it. It's inevitable that we're on this track of destruction. And I see that we're on a track of destruction, and I'm saying we need to put an end to it. Now, a lot of brothers don't want to do this. They don't want to sacrifice their livelihood. They don't want to sacrifice, not their livelihood, excuse me. They don't want to sacrifice their fun. All right? So my question to you is, no, it's not even a question. I just make a statement. I'm going to tell you right now, you're no different than the ratchet people you judge. Ratchet culture, they don't give a fuck about the community. They uneducated. They're dumb. They wayward. They're out of line. They don't adhere to the laws. They don't adhere to the culture. They don't give a shit about the future. Okay, but neither do you. You just want to get you a Mei Ling or a Becky so you can be happy. And I'm not even going to sit here and tell them, and this is a hard argument to have. It's hard to sit down and tell brothers, yo, you shouldn't care about your happiness. I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about your happiness. I'm saying you can do both. We're black men. We're dynamic that way. We always have been. We've been able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We've been the conscience, the fucking moral compass of America forever, trying to make the America be what it says it's going to be on paper. Since niggas is talking about shit being on paper, America has never been what it's been on paper. It's all about power dynamics. And if we don't involve ourselves in power dynamics, we're going to fucking disappear. And what I see a lot of brothers doing right now is they voluntary disappearing. You're going to run to the daughters of our oppressors and go lay up with her like she really gives a fuck about you. Like she really cares about you. She's looking for resources like any other woman. All you seeing right now when you got white women who can be laid with black men is a woman whose palate is a lot more flexible. You know what I mean? She's attracted to you enough to be with you. But the truth of the matter is she only fuck with you because you got resources. If you don't believe me, ask all the fucking NFL players who are going through shit with white girls. All the white girls who try to fucking, put our brothers in jail for false rape allegations. You're going to just overlook all of that. All the bullshit with white society, all the foul shit they did with white society, and then hold them up as the fucking place to be instead of creating your own. When I look at America and I see all these immigrants in America, they are hell-bent on creating better futures for themselves. They're not fucking interested in coming over here and being part of, black society or anybody else's society. They're over here creating themselves. When they come over here, they're Mike Lee, Tony Nguyen, you know what I'm saying? Harvey Lynn. You know what I mean? They take on an American first name to adapt to the society.
That's time, brother Jay Sean. Go ahead.
Let me just say this last. Let me finish up then. So I didn't know I was running that long. The bottom line is that I care about a black future, and what I see with S.Y.S.B.M, I see brothers who are going down a path of voluntary miscegenation. It's not going to get us black power, and it's not going to fix the black community. It's just going to help get rid of us faster. That's all.
All right. Brother Supreme,
I'm interested. Could I abdicate 30 seconds back to Jay Sean? Because I think he had a little bit more he wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, brother Jay Sean, if you want to finish your thought, go ahead, man, because these is closing arguments. So if you have something else to go ahead, because I'll just give him, I'll just give him whatever I gave you. If you got a
Yeah.
little more you want to add to it, go ahead.
Well, not much more to add, man, because I know you're gonna have questions from the chat room, so I'll get to touch on things again. But I would just say this, I can't get with the Becky Worship brothers. I can't do that. I can't get that. I see white women as, yeah, they might be clean up, more, presentable to a certain extent, but what they have and what they come from was built on the back of us. All right. So I'm not going to give them credit for a society that they built on the back of us, built on the back of our blood and our despair and the treachery that was imposed on black people to build white society as we see it now. And that includes Europe. They built their society on Africa, exploiting Africa. So everything that these white folks have has been through exploitation, death, and murder. So to celebrate them the way I see brothers celebrating them and seeing them as a way out, I can't rock with it. That's all.
Brother Supreme.
No, it's just interesting to me. I've had these conversations before. It seems like it's comes from a position of being frozen in racism and believing that slavery is the worst thing that has ever happened on this planet. I'm not of that connotation. I'm not of that line of thinking. I think if you look at history as a whole, throughout humanity, a lot of travesties that have taken place by all cultures. I think of when you go right back to Africa, some of the worst things that happened to other Africans came by the hands of other Africans. And I mean, you think about a dude like a Shaka Zulu who was putting fools' heads on pikes just for coming from a different tribe. So, I mean, this whole idea of, oh man, the evil white man, look what they did to, man, come on. Throughout history, there's been these different things. Concerning the whole thought of, is today worse than slavery? In some instances, I think that it is. I look at the viewpoint of the elephant that was tied to or chained as a child and then grew up and only has a rope on its leg, and it has the mentality that it is still under control and all it needs to do is just break out, but it doesn't have it. And that's what I see of the black community today. That it's not a whole thing of them not being able to do anything. Their mentality is gone and they don't have the fight that's in them. Out of coming directly out of slavery, you had individuals who were eager for family, they were eager for education, they were eager for structure, they were eager for identity. Black folk today are eager for none of that. They fight against it, actually. When you talk about power, that sounds good. It's a great show to some that want to watch that type of thing. It rolls off of the tongue, but power in its real form requires logic. It requires understanding. It requires wisdom. It requires structure. It requires law. The very basis of things in this country was built so that power wouldn't just be completely despotic. I mean, if you want to build a society where black people just grab power and so forth, okay, well, what is that going to look like if they don't have a foundational structure of law? It will be chaos. You go to this whole thing about S.Y.S.B.M and saying, oh, well, why do you want to claim blackness or whatever? Well, what does blackness even mean? That's why I even say, hey, call me Supreme King Coon. Because if you go from one corner of America to the next, you're gonna find black people that are gonna tell you this when it comes to definitions of various terms. They're gonna say, well, what it means to me is, or they're gonna say, well, what I feel is. They're never gonna give you a logical, set, standard definition of something. And that is the very basic of the basis of classic education.
Yeah.
Go back to the trivium. Again, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, the classic parts of classical education. Some of the very basis of it is grammar. Grammar, you get the whole idea that we have to call certain things by a certain term so that we can have a standardized understanding of it so that we can communicate effectively. You cannot have that with chaos. And that's what I see with too many of these conversations with Black people. They want things to go their way according to the way that they grew up and the way that they see the world and their interactions with other cultures. If they have been victimized in any way, they believe that every Black person should feel exactly the same way that they do about their victimization. And it's like, that's a load of crap. We are so much more than just victims of white society. Yeah, you bring up certain things about inventions and so forth. Do you ever go back and look inside the history of understanding that some of those inventions were side by side with people of other cultures? That a lot of those inventors and great minds were pushed to the brink of success by others? Do we think about in history, how much is glossed over when it talks about other races of individuals that actually helped the slaves? We act like that didn't even exist. Like, oh, we should just sweep that under the rug. It didn't even matter. You think about even today, people say all this stuff, they give credence, they have panels about what do you call that? The Innocence Project. And who are the ones who actually created it? It wasn't Black folk. Heck, even today, the majority of the individuals that are involved in those projects are not Black people. So it's like this unbalanced view of the world of, oh, we live in this ultimately super racist society where you as a Black person cannot interact with any other culture because they are operating as these groups that don't give a crap about anything else other than their group. That is insane. We have too many outcomes, and I can show you the evidence with the individual that you listed in what's his name, the Comcast guy that's suing Comcast.
Byron Allen.
Yeah. Some of his very mentors were doggone white people that were in the doggone industry. He gave a story about, oh man, I was in the industry there sitting by my mom and so forth and blah blah blah. Well, when his mom wasn't there, who was taking care of him? Who was showing him stuff? Who gave him his first internship? So it's like, man, all of that stuff, it's ridiculous to try to revise history and try to make it seem as though it's all Black people sticking together and achieving these things. It didn't happen that way. It never has. I'll digress.
Yeah, that's going to conclude the debate, y'all. Those are the final statements. If y'all have questions in the chat, shoot them now. We're going to have a little Q&A. See what y'all thinking. See if y'all got some questions to throw at the debaters. And then we're going to wrap up. So if y'all got any questions for the brothers, shoot them up now. But in the meantime, I guess, Wally, I guess these folks are thinking in the chat room. Y'all can go ahead and I guess we can do a little more, banter.
I saw a comment and a question in the chat room, and it's crazy to me how, they've done a number on us, white society. They've done a number on us, man, that there's so many Black men who look so low on themselves. You know what I mean? That they completely dismiss how we got everything that we got. Like, for instance, somebody in the chat room was asking about, sexism, from the rap artists being, sexist and all that kind of shit. Look, man, porn sexism, all that shit we got from white folk. White men are the most sexist motherfuckers on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, we can completely dismiss that shit. White women are some of the most promiscuous, hoish women on the planet. That's where we got the shit from. We got it from them. Now, we got a black version of it that's out of control. Cool, I get it. You know what I mean? But everything that we're doing over here, we got from them. So falling in the same frame with, you know, what SKC was saying, you know, yeah, no one does anything by themselves. No one does anything by themselves. And you know, I'm on the flip side of that. You know what I mean? Like, when you can sit here and say, you know, yeah, you know, black people didn't invent things in a vacuum, and a lot of times they did, because a lot of people didn't fuck with them. A lot of people did not fuck with black people like that. We had to do a lot of things on our own. But even then, we didn't. When we was in labs and we had, you know, guidance or cooperation from or in collaboration with white folks. Okay, but why are you looking at it that way instead of looking at it as them being in collaboration with you? You see what I'm saying? That's the question I would have to some of the brothers in the chat room. Why are you not looking at it as them being in collaboration with you? Why you see yourself under them? You know what I mean? And being okay with under them.
Why does it have to be either or? Why can't it be two individuals that are?
Because brother, I just gave you some facts.
other?
I just gave facts, and I want the chat room to understand the facts. Look at the fucking Congress that you live under. Look at the Senate you live under. All right? And the country is diverse as America. Look at what we're under. Still to this day in 2019. Those groups. I'm sorry.
Hold on a second, brother Jay Sean. Do any one of you brothers want to field this question that's on the screen right now? How do you stop your women from filing false police reports, hoaxes?
I know how Jay Sean is going to answer, so I'll go ahead and give it to him.
Go ahead, man. Give me see which answer that, SKC. I'm curious.
Oh, what you're gonna say?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I was pretty much finished. I was just saying, like, look, other groups are not operating like we are. No one's answered my question. No one on the panel, and no one in the chat room has answered my question. And I want somebody in the chat room that maybe answer this question. If we want black women to operate like other women, okay, why are we not operating like other groups of men?
I believe that we are. I believe that we're adapting.
I don't see other groups of men S.Y.B.M. I don't see them save themselves from their women and talking that way. I see them going ahead and creating dynamics and creating environments. That's what I see other men, groups of men doing, and they doing it as a group.
Well, the thing is,
I can't hear you, brother.
I think we lost
merchant list.
Oh, there he is.
You went out. Say it again.
Why you fading in and out, brother Supreme? You fading in and out.
Oh, okay. You hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So he was saying, you know, why does other men don't have S.Y.S.B.M and so forth? Well, because they never needed to. Black men are the only ones within Black America that are shamed for doing so. Other races of men can go out and do whatever they want without any consequence or anything.
Yeah.
It's only here that you have other women and men that will look at a dude that's doing something with his own power of his own volition, exercising his free rights. When you go right back to the laws of this country, he's living life, pursuing happiness, having his exercising his own liberty, and you got other Black people that are looking down for him for doing so.
Nah, I don't see looking down.
Again, them hating basically the exercise of law.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. There's a question in the chat room about MGTOW. You know, look, MGTOW is not about Black women. You know what I'm saying? That's what kills me. You guys keep making shit about the Black women. You know what I'm saying? And look, dude. MGTOW for me is men going their own way, and I agree with MGTOW to a certain extent. I live a MGTOW lifestyle, but I still deal with women. So some dudes in MGTOW don't deal with women at all, but I'm not with that. If MGTOW means you don't deal with women, then I'm not with that. But as far as going your own way, that's going against the social norms, like marriage, for instance. You know what I mean? I'm in lockstep with a lot of white men. A lot of white men see it's not a great deal for Black, not Black, but for men in general to get married because there's nothing in it for us, right? It's a bad deal. That's a legal construct. That's something that's going on across the board. That's not a Black issue. That's a man versus women issue. And that's what MGTOW is based in. But again, we want to talk about Black men. So a lot of these dudes that's in the chat room keep claiming blackness, but when I talk black, I'm out of step. You see what I'm saying? That's why y'all losing me. Y'all keep circling around to being black men, being part of this group called black.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I don't want to hear some crying going on later. So how about we just handle this question that's on the screen?
Yeah, go ahead and fill this question. This is from the B1 Go. He wants to know, how did they not need to when they came up with the manosphere first based on white women?
I have no idea what he's talking about. That's not a complete sentence, so I don't.
You might have to clarify that one, Go. If you're
It
still
goes
out
back
there.
to the whole thing about classical education and the use of grammar. So
Oh,
Charles Merchant has a question. Okay.
All right, let me see. Let me see if I can put it up there.
Yeah, put it on the screen. Yeah, it's a good question.
Question. Since you won't answer my last question, do you have plans and instructions for your women?
All right, well, look, first of all, Charles, and anybody else in the chat room, I'm just scanning through questions now. I'm over here writing shit down, so I might not have seen your questions earlier. So don't get in the tiff. If we no one up here answered your question, we might not have seen it. You know what I mean? We actually involved in a debate. But anyway, to answer your question, my instructions for my women is they're going to have to get down and lay down. Women who don't want to come along with black men in charge, then they can stay out in the cold. All right? That's my instruction for our women. Our women are going to have to fall in line with black male leadership. Now, we know a lot of black women don't want to fall in line with black male leadership. I get it. So we got to create that. And that's when my man SKC asked me the question, do we think we're going to figure this out in our lifetime? No, we got to create it. We got to create it. We're looking at groups of men right now who are rising powers or in power in the world, but they started 50, 40, 60, 70 years ago. That's really not a long time. That's really not a long time. That's not a long time to create some new shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're not creating a dynamic. The problem is with a lot of you brothers, and I like Charles Merchant, by the way. I've seen him around for a long time. He's a good brother.
Yeah, he really is.
He's a good brother. You know what I mean? We just disagree on certain aspects. Look, Nagon's in here, and I know Nagon disagrees with me on some of my positions, right?
And we should disagree.
We should disagree. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is that, to clear some things up, Jay Sean is not bowing down to the granocracy. I do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it. You understand me? I don't have any black female issues. I don't tolerate black female fuckery in my life. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I went to court and dealt with that shit in a real way. I didn't talk about it. I'm living this shit. So a lot of things that dudes are having problems with out here, Jay Sean is actually living. I'm in the workspace dealing with white people, dealing with other groups of men. I'm competing in the world of men. You know what I mean? As they say. But the bottom line is that when we get to a certain point where we face racism at even higher levels, we got to come back to the group. There's no way around this. Other groups of people operate. There was an SCS I used to work for, and he's from a Slavic nation. I can't remember which one. And all he did was hire other Slavic people and give them high positions. They do this shit religiously. You know what I mean? It's just what they do.
So just as a thought, because I don't see any questions coming up. Do you see any, Xavier?
Well, there's a few questions I'm gonna get to. I want to get to Lady Courtney's question because she's been asking some questions like here and there, like all night. So let me
see. Mr. Fantastic got one. So.
Yeah, he got a question. He got a question for me, and let me tell you something, Mr. Fantastic. I didn't excuse anything. So you guys are creating a false narrative. I already addressed black female fuckery. Me calling it black female fuckery is calling it black female fuckery. I'm not acting like it don't exist. I didn't say anything about ratchet culture not existing. I'm saying, why are y'all pointing out the positives of other groups of people and not pointing out the negatives of them? Why are y'all trying to create a propaganda machine when you're promoting other groups of people as if they don't have drug use and STD culture and whole culture in their own fucking societies? White people are the most scandalous, promiscuous. I don't want to get your channel shut down, but they got fucking issues. All right, they got issues in that society. I mean, look at through these staring. Look at she got a fucking black boy in a dress. They got crazy white women over there. All right, let's stop acting like these motherfuckers are perfect and they're the fucking answer. That's my answer to Mr. Fantastic. I'm not sitting here making an excuse for anything. That's a false narrative, Mr. Fantastic. I didn't make no excuse for anything. I'm of the mind of not letting it burn. I'm saying, all right, let's do a control burn and rebuild. Let's move places and build together. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to lay up in other people's communities and spread out and have no power. You're gonna be fucking completely what's the word I'm looking for? Saturated in the society. You're not going to have any say. You're not going to have any pull. You're not going to have any power where other groups of people operate. And I gave you 2 examples of how people do it. They do it through population or they do it through money and power. I gave an example with the Asian people, what they did with the Kyle Gurley situation. People, you know what I mean? People move as groups. That's how you obtain power and you create better environments. But the thing is, we're not going to create it in our time. You know that. We're going to have to build, and y'all don't want to do that. All y'all want to do is have fun. All y'all want to do is get your dick wet. All y'all want to do, like my man C Boogie says, get your feet washed. And when, you know what? I'm not hating. It is what it is. Do what you want to do. I'm just saying other groups of men don't operate that way. They just don't. You know what I mean? They just don't. People come, you got all these groups that are in power right now who were dirt poor at one point in time. Yeah, they exploited the poor people of the earth. I get it. You know what I mean? But now we're in a position where we're part of an empire and we have mass resources at our disposal. And the brothers who have the most resources, we want to promote to them and say, fuck the future. You go do your thing. You go find your happiness. You do this, you do that. And take all your resources and embed it into another fucking community. And I'm not with that.
Well, Jay Sean, I'm just a quick question. Have you ever looked at the 22 tenets of S.Y.S.B.M?
No.
Okay, so I'm not trying to trap you or anything, but I'm just asking, would it make sense to state about a group things about that group without looking at its actual written tenets?
Well, look, when I go to your panels, and I watch what brothers are talking about, and you know, I see what they're talking about. You see what I'm saying? You know, and not to throw any shots at anybody, but I checked out Game Changers panel from last Monday night, and I was disgusted.
Well, I don't think.
The Becky worshiping.
He actually believes in the community actually being rebuilt, that it could be saved.
He was talking.
Doesn't believe that the community.
Do you brothers want to do you want to field Lady Courtney's question?
Sure. What is it?
Where is it?
Just we're looking for leadership. Where is it?
That's her question.
I believe so.
I don't know what she's asking the question to, but where is it? You know, sister, you got a lot of brothers out here who want to lead or trying to lead. A lot of you sisters don't want to follow. So let's not go there. But the bottom line is that, the bottom line is that, leadership really is what we're talking about is power. Okay. White people don't have leadership, they have power. All right. And they can do what the fuck they want to do with their power. They can break laws with that power. They can write the laws how they want with their power. They can make shit move how they want with that power. The laws really have nothing to do with it. It's all power dynamics. Just like they just did in fucking Saudi Arabia. They just changed the rules. Now women can drive, and because that's the men in power can decide what they want to do. You see what I'm saying?
I think to answer her question, she says they're looking for leadership. Where is it? Well, I think the very first tenet of leadership has to do with family. You cannot have any set leadership if the community isn't built upon strong, structured families. And so with the idea of Black women at this point in time not actually wanting to be under the charge of a husband, do not feel that it is important to have two parents under one roof to inculcate critical thinking to their children, so it can withstand, so that those children can withstand all of the things that are coming at them. I mean, hey, that's the very foundation of that leadership. So to me, they can go somewhere with all that talk of the leader, because if you don't want a family, you don't want any leadership in your community.
Yeah, and can I back you up on that?
Without family, you're actually asking for the government to lead you.
Right, and I'm gonna back you up on this, SKC, because there is an issue with the women. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: I want brothers to understand. Cerulean and Gray said it best. Women are nesters, right? They nest in every society. I say women, throughout history, they're natural survivors. You know what I mean? They're going to adjust to whatever society is. You see what I'm saying? So when we, again, going back to power, Black women look at us as not men in power. You know what I mean? That's just the end of it. They don't see us as the ruling class. So that's why there's a lot of disrespect and bullshit going on with them. Now, does that make it okay? No, because if they want black men to be in leadership, they can promote that. And that's what I say to you brothers too on S.Y.S.B.M shit. We can promote what we want if we wanted to. We got the YouTube streets. You guys got channels. I got good followers. We can promote what we want. We're not doing that.
And let's deal with this real quickly, Jay Sean, because I'm looking right back in the chat, and the same lady that asked us the question, what's her name? Shut up, Courtney. She says, "I know, Taz, it was a sarcastic question." So again, this is exactly what we're talking about so far as even when black people, black women specifically, ask such questions, they're not actually looking for answers. They don't want to fall under the leadership of a man. They don't want family or so forth. You actually see individuals that would rather spend time kind of circling around someone else's mate instead of trying to go out and correct things within themselves to become a good mate to someone else.
Yeah.
To build their own family. They rather revolve around someone else's. So it just shows you the defunctness that goes within the black community and why there's so many brothers that saying, you know what? Yeah, I got to save myself from this junk, because you have individuals with that type of mindset.
Got you. And I completely agree. And she's not helping my case at all. I'm sitting here trying to, promote brothers, taking a charge and building together and building a better future. But I tell you what, my thing is this, my answer to that all the time, SKC, is I ignore it. All right. I'm not worried about how they feel, man. I just don't give a shit how they feel. I look at other groups men operate, and I look at the historical context of how other groups operate. I look at war history, wars. I was just watching a documentary I fell asleep on earlier. I watch documentaries relentlessly, and I just see what happened in history. And I'm like, those people who were in leadership, they didn't give a fuck what. Look, poor Germans didn't give a fuck what. Rich Germans didn't care what poor Germans cared about. The political class didn't give a fuck. They going regardless. And in fact, not only you going, you're going to fight in this war. The same thing happens in America. You got all these poor white boys fighting for rich white men. You understand me? It's no different than when they was fighting for kings and, the monarchs and all that. It's never changed. It's a power dynamic.
Now, Jay Shine, you just hit on something that, in my mind, is a proponent of the whole S.Y.S.B movement, is this. To a certain degree, and it's going to sound harsh, but you know me, I'm on the whole thing of burn the community down anyway. The upper mobile individuals, I'm sorry, the individuals at the bottom, they're going to be fodder. It is what it is.
I can't disagree with that. You can't save them all. Look, I got family members back in the hood. All right. Last Thanksgiving of 2018, before I came over here, me and my daughter, I took up to New York to go visit people. I'm in the projects. I'm in the project Staten Island. I'm in the hood in Brooklyn at my sister's house. I know what you're talking about. It's not far removed from me. You know what I mean? That's why I want to build a better future. See, all of this to me is socialization and teaching. You see what I'm saying? We're going to have to raise our future. That's just, there's no way around it. White society raised white supremacists. That shit didn't just evolve on its own. They gave it tenets, they gave it beliefs, they gave it false history. They did everything they wanted. They created textbooks on later on. They created that shit. So they created a mindset. So when you meet the average white kid, they're not working for the same frame of reference. I'm just talking about historical American history, right? They're not even working from the same fucking historical reference as you and me, because they don't even know what the fuck happened to black society, and nor do they care, because they've been trained and socialized to be that way.
And Jay Sean, just so we can be fair and balanced, there was a few people that tried to ask some questions. I think I missed them. I'm just trying to be fair. I saw Taz give a question.
Yeah, if you got questions, we might have missed them. So don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us. Just go ahead and ask the damn question again, and I'll put it on the screen, and the brothers will answer it, I guess, if they want to. So
might ask me a question. How was Jason playing change 6 years of failure? Look. So Judge Zilla, I got a quick answer for you. I want you to go watch my video I just did on my channel. It gives you a breakdown of the history of what happened to us. We didn't end up in ghetto culture by accident. It was created. And I want black people to stop beating each other for that, especially if you're not part of that. All right, we're not hood niggas on here, or ignorant ghetto people on here. We're smart, intelligent black men here. All right, so there's no reason to even feel like you got to own that shit. But the problem is this: those are still our people, and it happened. And in every group, when you put them under pressure and you put them in certain situations, things are going to happen. Why is there so many white people in suburban America hooked on drugs? They got fucking houses and clean air and good schools. Why are they doing so much drugs? See, we don't ask these questions because there's been a drug culture introduced. They're in an environment.
Here's the answer, though, Jay Sean.
Yeah.
They failed, just like we failed. Play it back on both sides.
Right.
They're both failures.
Right. And I don't want to fail anymore. That's my point. I don't want to fail anymore, SKCC. And S.Y.B. I don't want to fail anymore. So the other question was, if most American black women are poor quality, then why not just abandon them? Well, nigga, if you're not with them, you already did. What the fuck is that going on? I'm not with a poor black woman. I mean, I don't, these questions, man, you know what these questions are? And this is my main problem with this movement, is that it's based in emotions. It's based on how they feel towards the black women or things that they're doing or how black women might have treated them in the past. And I'm not going to sit here. And my thing is,
hold on a second.
I'm going to answer this question. Go ahead.
This question on the screen is directed to you, brother Jay Shine. Brother Omega Dreads is saying, why is Jay Shine worried about
Omega
black
Dreads
men's
trolling
selfishness and how can he stop it?
Omega Dreads is trolling me, man. Omega Dreads, you go to hell. Listen, there's nothing I can do to stop it. That's why, the same thing with S.Y.S.B.M. You can't make dudes be part of that, right? All you can do is persuade them. You know what I mean? So, everybody's pushing their mentality, their ideas. Let's make sure we understand that. All right? What SKC is pushing is his ideas and where he's coming from. I'm pushing my ideas and where I'm coming from. We can't make nobody do anything. You know what I mean? Right. That's the thing. The thing is, if we could convince people to say, all right, fine, we want a better future. Well, how do we get to that better future? You see what I'm saying? That's the real argument here.
Right. We have
to make sure you exactly. That's what we're debating on here right now. How do we get to a better future? All right. So that's
we have to create strong positions. We have to persuade. But I think part of that, which is of a how do you put I think that we, in certain ways, we have the upper hand in certain bits because what we have is in writing. It's substantiated by quantitative evidence, statistics, the whole gambit of data that you can go and you can research for yourself. You can look at it. It's peer reviewed. And you can cross-reference it with other things that you see happening in the community in real time. And then you can make your decision based upon that. So I think it's different from other portions where people come up with these with very convincing ideas, but it's all verbal. And most of it is based upon their personal feelings about things instead of just raw facts and data.
Mm-hmm. All right, but
brother Jay Sean, you got another question. This one is from Stoic. He want to know.
Stoic one, man. My man, this is my problem. I'm glad you put that on the screen. I'm glad you a fucking asshole, X. I'm glad you put that on the screen.
Well,
I'm glad you put it on the screen.
He put it to you directly.
He put it to me directly. Before I answer the question, SKC, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying right here? See the problem? No, I'm not trying to get on Stoic, but look at the problem. Do you see what I see?
What was the question again? Could you put it?
No, look, it's on the screen right now. Do you see it?
I see David Johnson's comment.
Yeah, they wanted to know if most black women are poor quality. Yeah. Something if black women are poor quality, I done passed the shit now.
It's all right. Hey, the bottom line is that Stoic is a brother who comes to this chat room. He supports his platform. So shout out to Stoic one.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, right. But do you see the problem with look at it for me, SKC? Now you see my issue. This man has an RGB icon with a black fist.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Look, we are black people, fam. That's what I'm saying. We black people. We're gonna have to figure this shit out. Now, my man David Johnson is right. That's exactly where I'm at with it. I'm not on some fucking lovey-dovey shit. I'm on some, you know what I mean? Get these motherfuckers in line type shit. I'm on some power shit, on some real hardcore shit. I'm talking about really changing the dynamics of things, man. And creating, look, we have all the resources. Now, the only way you can dictate to black society how things need to be is that black men getting up immobile. Not even black men all having money, but supporting the movement of black empowerment. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about I ain't talking about no dashiki shit neither. I'm just talking about being men.
Okay.
You
Well,
know
I have a question for you, and it also involves brother Xavier. Okay, so To both of you all, when raising children, because we're all parents here,
Okay.
is it important? Because you said power. Is it important for children to see their parents in a loving relationship with each other?
I do, but I
Yes.
think it's also detrimental to see, all kids seeing. I'm not against interracial dating per se. People have proximity to each other. I mean, if you go to school with a chick and she's Asian and she loving on you and you loving on her, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm talking about a mentality of purposely shunning your own and loving on another group of people. You feel me? And I think that's detrimental for kids to see. You understand me? To see their parent or a parent, just putting down their own kind and dismissing their own history and not rooting them in that history. My grandmother did that for me, and I'll always appreciate her for that. Her telling me those stories about her growing up in the South, the old South, her stories about her grandmother, who I never met, who was the last slave born in my family. I can't divorce myself from that. I can't act like that shit didn't happen. That's a real struggle. That's a real, experience that we went through. You know what I mean? And that's generational experience. And I'm at the point where it's like, all right, the country was built on our backs. And you literally have black people arguing not whether we're going to get reparations, which is a legitimate argument, but probably not, right? But the bottom line is that whether we deserve it or not. Now, why is that even an argument? Of course we deserve reparations. You know what I mean? How the fuck is you a black person? You don't think we deserve reparations after everything that's happened to us in the country? See, again, there's a mentality and a mindset to try to divorce themselves from their own experience. And you're not in every group, regardless of what they are, what race they are, what region of the world they come in, whether they're white, Asian, whatever. You know what I mean? They're all rooted in some type of tradition or some type of history. All of them, every last one of them, and we have a rich one. No one has been through what we've been through in America. And the question I have for SKC is, I'm just curious. I didn't even know you had children. How many kids you got, bro? I got one daughter.
Two.
You got two? How old are they? Just the age range?
6 and 9.
6 and 9. Cool. And they with a black woman or a white girl?
Nah, Asian.
Asian girl. Got you. See, all right. So the thing is, well, I'm asking this question: are your kids, because genetics work the way it works, right? They could be real pale or light, but they can still have a lot of black DNA in them, right? So, but do they look more brown than they look, Asian?
Now that I don't discuss, because I don't discuss specific things about my children.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked that question, all right, I'll take my question off the table. No disrespect.
Because as a parent, it's like their life is going to be beyond mine, and I don't know how the internet is going to work way in
the future. Right, I got you. I'll take that back. So I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. Then I'll go around, because one of my favorite channels, believe it or not, is this Asian couple. That's Asian. It's interracial couple, and they put up blogs all the time, and I get to watch how those brown Asian kids get treated differently in Korea. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying
right in America, you can see a group like a couple like Slice and Rice, and I mean, hey, cool couple in here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second, because the GOAT said he asked a question about save yourself. I guess it was save yourself.
Hey, Taz, put the question back up, because we didn't see it.
Yeah, go ahead and write it. I mean, he's a quick typer anyway. Go ahead and put the question back up, GOAT.
Hey, while he's doing that, I want to answer a question about Cortez Smith. Then don't, Cortez, goddamn. You and these other brothers, man, y'all got Look, man, I know we've been through with sisters, man, but goddamn, brothers, put this shit down.
Here's another one directed to you, brother Jay Shine. Why is Jay Shine still trying to save the ghetto in 2019 when ghetto people refuse to submit to the leadership of black middle and upper classes?
That's an easy answer. First of all, I ain't trying to say no goddamn ghetto. The ghetto is not black people, for one. The fact that you extrapolate black people with the ghetto shows that you working from a white supremacist mindset. All right, that's how they see us. I don't see us that way. I just see us black people. Some of us in the hoods and some of us not. Plus, also go to my channel and learn how the ghettos were created. All right. And that's the thing that kills me about you, some of you brothers out here. Y'all don't want to go through the history and see how things were actually done. But I'm talking about under force. Don't give me this shit about choices. Under force. We were forced into certain situations. Our houses, when we was trying to move into certain neighborhoods, our fucking communities and our houses were burnt down. We moved in white communities, our houses were burnt down. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things that pushed us together. and forced us to be there. And that's just the fucking facts, man. You know what I mean? The ghetto in the hood was created. Now, am I saying that the people are not responsible for their personal behavior? No. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to save the hood. Fuck the hood. The hood, we don't own the hood. We don't own shit. How can I save something we don't own? I go back to the hood. We don't own the projects. We don't own these, fucking brownstones and buildings we live in Brooklyn, these ghettos and shit. We all renting the fucking white folk. I want to buy up the shit. And if we can't buy that shit up because they won't give us good prices, then let's go build something else. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to save the hood. I want to build a new future. Right now, we know all the shits that fucked up. We know all the problems we had in the past. We know all the failures. Oh man, NKC said about failure. We know all the things that we did wrong. We know everything that went wrong. We have all the information in the world. For people to be armed with so much fucking information in the digital age, we should be able to figure out a way forward. We should plan and and process a way forward. Now, the black leadership that he's talking about, there is no black leadership. The problem with black folk right now is everybody's out for self. These so-called Divine Nine types, the black political class, the fucking Jack and Jill, the black bourgeoisie, they're all looking out for themselves, i.e. Oprah. You know what I mean? No, she don't give a fuck about the black community. That's why I don't even argue with people like Oprah or use her as an example, because she never gave a fuck about the black community. She was all about herself. And she used black men to get where she is. And now I am proud of all the black women who are throwing her ass under the bus. They are dragging the fuck out of Oprah right now. I thought I'd never see that. And they doing it on mainstream. It's not just YouTube. It's not just Nicole's View and the women on YouTube. I'm talking about on the Ricky Smiley morning show, on TMZ, those level of platforms. Black women are dragging her ass. And that's a fucking win. That's a win from y'all. Us standing up as black men and saying, you know what? I'm tired of not having a voice. That's what the Black Manosphere is supposed to be for. We have a voice now. We have a place where we can speak our minds, have these debates like we have them right now. You know what I mean?
I'll tag just a second, then I ask that question. But I'll just question the motives of that, Jay Sean, because they've been on this for a long time, and black men have been telling them about Oprah for a long time.
Hell yeah.
But what Taz said, he said, why did SKC say white men didn't need S.Y.S.B.M if they up red pill and all that based on white women? Now, first of all, there is no save yourself white men. There's no group like that in the first place. But even if it were, and it was based off of save yourself black men, it still wouldn't apply, because red pill and all of that other stuff based upon what they were talking about does not have anything to do with the structure within Black America that has been pushing down on black men being able to make whatever move and option that they wanted in their lives, period. There's always been this huge push of, if a black man dates out, oh, he must be this, he must be gay, he must do this, he must be weak, he don't want a strong woman, he ain't a real man, he can't do this, and all this other stuff. White men never had to deal with that, and red pill wasn't about that at all. So the question doesn't even make any sense.
Well, let me follow up. It has some validity, SKC, because white men have never had to do it because they're in power. And they can go around the world and stick their penis in wherever they want because they're in power. And a white woman understands that. So they're on a different level. They went around the world and fucking colonized the world and conquered the world. So they understand, they women understand, they don't come at their men like that. They make it do what they want. They go to fucking Vietnam, come back with Asian wives. They do what the fuck they want. Mitch McConnell has an Asian wife. Ain't nobody calling them out because they're in power. They provide provisions for their women. In fact, they're the reasons why they women can go around and do what the fuck they want and be high on fucking prescription medicine and be crazy as shit and talk crazy and kill a kid and do all kind of crazy shit and get off because they're men in power. You see what I'm saying? Now, the pushback from white men is really coming from the lower levels. You know what I mean? And the mid levels, because marriage has been now a fucking what's the word? A racket for women. You see what I'm saying? So they're pushing against that shit. It's nothing against. They're not going to save themselves to get with other groups of women, because, matter of fact, I take that back. The reason they get with other groups of women is because they have a power dynamic. They know other groups of women are going to worship them, i.e. Asian women, i.e. black women. They know 9 times out of 10 those women are going to worship them when they're swirling, because they are trying to escape their communities. They're trying to escape their situation. All these females out here talking about swirling and all that shit ain't nothing but gold digging, smoothed out on the racist tip. You see what I'm saying? So the black men understand. Not black men. The white men understand that. The white men understand it, but they're still in power. And what kills me is that even though They have all the land and all the resources as a group. They still got tea parties. They still out here red face, Trump this, Trump that. You know what I mean? They still out here being political. They're being active. They creating their militias. Even though they have all this shit, they got all the guns, and they still insecure because they're on code and they're on mission. They have a purpose to maintain their culture, their way of life, as they say, and their race. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to do it at all costs. Meanwhile, on our side, we playing with all these different ideas as if we're in their position. We can't afford to be doing all this swirling S.Y.S.B.M bullshit. We can't afford it. We cannot afford it. We're going to die off. We're already under pressure. They're already pushing us out of the country. You got the Democrats on one side replacing us with immigrants. And then on the other side, you got a hardcore racism on the other side, white nationalism. And we're in the middle.
Man, just real quick, man. X, man, thank you so much, man. I'm enjoying all these questions, man.
Oh, absolutely. There's another question on the board right now. It says, if black men marry and procreate interracial, will they require women to follow them in black culture?
That's your question. Yeah.
The successes, not the failures. Should she be allowed to remain in her own culture? And that's coming from Lady Topaz.
Well, I think it's going to be a culmination of both cultures and being able to create something a bit new. When individuals of those sorts, I know in my situation, we tried to take the best from both worlds and give those to children. So the idea of trying to force one to go to either or, that's not what compromise is built upon. And I think that's one of the major problems that has to do with black family building right now, is that you have individuals that do not understand the components of compromising and negotiating within their own family structure, because you can't have your way on every single thing all the time. That's ridiculous. That's tyranny. So again, trying to force one culture over the other doesn't make any sense. A better strategy would be, let me see which ones produce the best out of in either situation, and to adapt the best strategy.
This question here is to you, brother Jay Shine.
Yeah, I actually agree with SKC on that one. But anyway,
don't women have to qualify for a good leader? And that's directed.
Of course they do, man. I don't understand, man. Stoic, man, you're killing me, man. I think you're trolling me at this point. I think he really is, because of course you do. I mean, you got to qualify for a good leader, but why do you give a fuck about them qualifying for a good leader if you don't want to be with them, for one? Two, where are the leaders? Leaving the community is not leading. Not trying to build a new community is not leading. I'm talking about leadership. That's what I'm talking about, Stoic. I'm talking about being a leader and creating a code of conduct and standards that everybody, the men, the women, and children, have to adhere to.
I have a question to you, Jay Sean.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're just looking in the chat, man. You see how
I see it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Between you and I has devolved into these. We haven't disrespected each other this whole night. We haven't cursed at each other or anything, and we're on polar opposites.
Right.
Why is it that you think that, looking at the chat, that black people just can't seem to discuss things in a civil way? Why do you believe that that's the case?
I think black people overall, because of what we come out of and how we've been socialized and what we are generationally, we are just emotional people, man. We put our emotions ahead of our minds. You feel me? And we're not thinking. So, everybody, when they hear something, it sets them off, and they just jump out there and they have emotions. We're just emotional people. That's the only answer I can give on that, man, because I can't be in somebody's minds. And I want to also add the fact that some of these people in the chat room got history with each other too. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that going on in there too. But I don't know. I have strong disagreements with some of the rhetoric I hear on some of these panels, but I don't come in those chat rooms and kick up dirt. I just listen. I listen to you brothers go. I listen. I hear where you guys coming from. I hear what you're talking about, and I get your complete side. So that's like an argument where I just shut the fuck up, right, and listen to what you guys are saying. because I'm not
Okay.
involved. I'm not involved in the conversation, and I would promote that to brothers. I say, look, if you're gonna have a beef with somebody, hear them all the way out. For one, hear them out.
So here's the follow up real quick.
Mhm.
Are white people making them do this?
Nah, but that's not. But no, but white people or with black people making white people do what they doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can keep going back and forth with that. We're not making them, be unfair and unconstitutional and you know what I mean and racist. We're not making them do that neither. We're not making them do drugs and you know what I'm saying. Like they try to blame us. There's a fucking governor in Maine trying to blame black people for the fucking drug crisis in Maine. You see what I'm saying? So look, no one's making us do that. But this is a family thing, right? We're black people. And inside our family, we're going to have these issues. The thing I want to change, HKC, is not having this going forward. We're going to have to raise the future. What I mean is, my daughter doesn't act ratchet. So when I'm looking at the answer in real time. Every day I get up, my daughter's natural. She's respectful. She walks with confidence. And you know what I mean? And I'm seeing the solution. I'm seeing it. I got a real fucking, I got sisters who are younger than me. I got sisters who are 14, 16, 18 years younger than me. And they're not ratchet. One's in the Air Force. One just had a child. She's a professional sister who's engaged. You know what I mean? I just saw her last month. You know, I got two other sisters in New York City. No kids. You know what I mean? One's about to get married next summer. The other one's unmarried, but she doesn't have any kids. So I'm seeing the result. And the reason why they're that way is because they got cousins like me, like my man Demetrius, and they got myself. And we have been there to coach our sisters. And you know what I mean? We've been there the whole time. You know, so we are the solution, bro. They know there's certain things you can't do around me, SKC. There's certain things you can't do around Big Brother, Jay. Period. My daughter's the same way. So even if they go out and do shit on, kids do sneaky shit, right? And your children are gonna do shit behind your back as you get older. You'll find out. My daughter's 16, by the way. So, they're gonna do certain things, but even the fact that they hide it from you shows that they know better. You see what I'm saying? Or they would just do it. And that's what you see in ratchet culture right now. There is this, you're looking at a manless, leaderless people. That's what you're looking at. There is no fucking shame. There's no nothing down there because there's no consequences to anything that they're doing. All right. So they're going to be what they're going to be. Just like there's no consequences to certain behaviors of, say, like, for instance, the police force. That's why they do what they do. Because they're going to get a slap on the wrist, or they might just be able to just, quit and then go move on to another police department. There's no real consequences. If there was real consequences for their behavior, they wouldn't do the things they do. They wouldn't be caught on text talking crazy or caught on camera doing crazy shit. But I will say this, though. They have a community behind them. No matter what they do, supports them to the hilt. No matter what fucking foul thing they do, their community stays on code. And that community is anti-black.
Well, one thing I will say that I think that needs to be stated about the S.Y.S.B.M bros is a lot of times we get accused of, worshiping Becky, or it's all about this woman and so forth. And it has, that's the farthest from the mind. I recall some time ago actually going on Gab's channel. Yeah. And I told Gab, look, hey, you need to open up a whole discussion because you guys are talking about women, and these dudes are talking about building new opportunities for themselves, getting inside of different cultures that aren't about destroying one another in dysfunction. Mm-hmm. They're talking about trying to understand how to build a viable family. They're talking about how to interact with other people and to learn different languages and different things. So this whole idea of, it's all about women. No, it's all about why they adopt the whole thing of thinking black men is thinking critically and building a culture of understanding that you have to have rational, logical thinkers in order to push ahead in any society, regardless of where you're at. You cannot continue to go on hearsay, to go on your feelings, to not do the hard work of actually researching things, looking it up, making comparisons, again, acquiring knowledge, getting an understanding of it, and being able to disseminate that information in, using rhetoric in a good way to build. That's just the very basics of business. Yeah. I hate it when we have these conversations all the time. And understand that because a lot of times we close the doors to these conversations because we don't want to have individuals in the chat talking about stuff like gay and women and all this other junk.
Brother Jay Sean, there's another question for you. They're saying, Jay Sean, answer the question I have for you. What if your daughter chooses to date outside her race? What's your response?
My response is if that's what she chooses to do, you know, I have to ask why she's doing it, right? So maybe I have to look at myself, you know, and see maybe I haven't rooted her too much in her history why she's willing to go that route. Being that she's raised by a positive black man, it's going to be highly unlikely. But if she did, it'll probably be a proximity thing. And the thing is, I don't think she will. And, you know, she already knows how I feel about it, you know, already. So, you know, she knows why I stand on it. And I doubt she will. See, when I raised my daughter, I raised her with the understanding of legacy. You know, I talk about the women who come before her. So she's rooted in something. You see what I'm saying? There are black women who come before her. And if I put my daughter on the computer right now and let y'all talk to her and ask her what it means to be black, she would tell you that she's the direct descendant of the first woman on the planet. That's real talk. All right. So we gotta raise what we're looking for. And you know, that's pretty much my answer to that, man. I can't force her to do what I want her to do, but I doubt that she will. And if she did, I would have to live with it, but I don't think she will. Based on how I'm raising her, how her mindset is. My daughter is a real black girl. She's natural. She's, you know, she's into historical shit. I come home, she's watching Malcolm X on, you know what I mean? She does a lot of that shit on her own. She's been rooted in her history. You know what I mean? So she's about herself. No different than when you go into a Latin house and you see the Latin girls and they're watching Telemundo. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by creating power dynamics, creating our own apparatus. We raise our kids in blackness. You see what I'm saying? Even if you go out and get a kid, like for instance, that girl from Japan, Ahsoka, right? Haitian father, Japanese mother. She understands what blackness is. And she represents it to the fullest. She doesn't even run from it. You know what I'm saying? And she identifies as a black woman because she knows what she looks like. You know what I mean? And she also knows how racist Japanese society is. So, you know, she loves her mom and all that kind of shit, but her fathers who taught her her thing. And since I bring that up, I want you brothers to understand something. Not only is Jay Sean an example, so is all these brothers who got these goddamn black girls out here killing the game in tennis. Look what you can do as black men when you train your daughters and you train your kids. You know what I mean? They can excel. Now, I know Serena and Venus got into swirling and all that kind of shit, but look what their mothers done. Their mothers, you know, walking around with weaves and probably, you know, had white shows on in the house. So they probably been socialized to watch a lot of white programming, and they probably in love with Brad and probably always wanted to Brad. But as far as building, you know, a legacy, look what those black men did through sports. And look how many times it's happened. It's happened like 4 times. So it's not an accident. This is black men being great fathers. You see what I'm saying? So the answer is right in the fucking mirror. And there's another question in the chat room real quick that's online this side, on this line of thinking. My man, young 216 asked a question earlier about, you know, how are we going to have a black future with, or something like that, with 20 million abortions a year. First of all, it's not 20 million abortions. That's not a true number. There's just not that many abortions in the country a year, period. That's including white women who still have the most abortions. Per capita, black women have the most abortions, but total, it's white women. The bottom line is that you're here, nigga. You weren't aborted, right? So what the fuck is that abortion's got to do with anything? You weren't aborted, and that's that. You know what I mean? And as far as brothers dating abroad and getting African women and other black women from other places, I'm with that. In fact, I think it's necessary. I think we need to put pressure on sisters, understand that. And I'll say like this: that's a power move. That's saying you're saying 2 things when you do that. One, I don't have to depend on you. You know what I mean? To procreate and have a family and have a black, you know, wife. I don't have to depend on you. And 2, you're showing that you want to produce black children. So and you're doing 2 things with that. That one, there was a brother in the chat room, I think Stoic asked that question. You know, well, how do I feel about brothers going to Africa to get women? I'm for it. I mean, like my man Casey said earlier in the thing, there's black people on the planet from everywhere else. As a man, you bring her back here, she's going to be under your leadership. So I'm cool with that.
So Jay Sean, there's a person in the chat because you were talking about the whole thing about the daughters and so forth. His name is Third Degree Burns X.
Mm-hmm.
I had a comment where he says Simone Biles is a great example, and yet this is what I'm talking about when I say black people not being classically trained and doing research and so forth, because if you just actually look at their story, Simone Biles was actually influenced more by a South American family that helped her in those things, and her brother, who stayed in the whole Black American culture, is dead.
I disagree. That was a Black family that adopted them. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest point that gets missed about Simone Biles. Simone Biles was adopted by a Black family, a stable Black family adopted her and her sister. And look where she's at right now. You know what I mean? So I don't want to look, this is not, the blind side. We're not going to sit here and keep giving credit to everything white folks do. Some white people have helped us. Okay, fine. But we've done a lot. Look, we've done a lot more for white society than they have done for us. All right. And I think that's probably the crux of our disagreements. Historically, we've done a lot more. We sacrificed a lot more for America and white society than they have for us. This whole notion that we're lucky to be here, all that bullshit, that's nonsense. We built the country. We had slaves. They had to create a goddamn what's that shit when you get your you go to DC or you go to DC and you get your not copyright shit when you invent something. I have a brain cramp. And you get a patent. Thank you. The patent office was developed and created because of what Black slaves were creating. And you know what I mean? And white, all these white people fighting over what Black slaves created. And you know what I'm saying? So they created a patent office. All right. You know what I mean? That our fingerprints are on a lot of shit that's based in American culture. Everything that you do today, the bank structure, the military, the barracks, all that's based on the plantation. A lot of things that happen in our history is based on, a lot of things on American culture is based on our experience in America. You know what I mean? We've contributed a lot to America. And I think this whole notion of we're going to just concentrate on the ghetto and see how fucked up they are and they're not doing anything and not contributing to society and just remove everything we contribute to society through our blood, sweat, and tears, man. Just the fact that we were in the fields up into the 60s, feeding this country, feeding America. You see what I'm saying? It's on our backs, man. That's our legacy. I'm not throwing that shit away. And I'm not going to dick police you neither. You can fuck what you want to fuck. I'll fuck other races and women. Go do your thing. But as far as a Black future, that's what I mean. What's the purpose now? What is our purpose as a group of men? We got to come home. And if the upper mobile Black men, thinking Black men out here who got it going on, if we can't get together and say, you know what, we're going to create a dynamic out here, a Black male leadership. You know what I mean? Black men in front. And she's going to have to fall in line. And our children are going to have to fall in line. That's what I want to see. Running from it is not going to help us.
I understand that, but you got to understand that you have a zombified nation underneath you that is trying to do any and everything within its power to tear you out the frame, and they could care less that you are Black too.
They have no power, SKC. They're the most powerless. White men go in their community, patrol them, and kill them at will. The schools treat the kids, the white teachers at the schools, these Black schools, the schools, the public schools in the hood. These white teachers just treat our kids any kind of way. We have no say. We have no power. The bottom line is that
I understand that, Jay, but what I'm saying is,
outside the hood, SKC, like me and you, outside the hood, we can create a different dynamic. We can create a different future.
Right.
And it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be a small percentage. And that's all it takes, though. If we create a dynamic.
I agree with you there, Jay Sean, because I think that the S.Y.S.B. bros are doing that. But
all right, so I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you guys going to create businesses and only hire Black people?
But the thing that I'm telling you is this, Jay Sean, you cannot say, "Hey, I'm going to build this and so forth and blah blah blah," and then think that the other Black people who are going to be the majority are not going to see you as an enemy as well, because they will.
So y'all brothers go ahead and shoot your part in shots, man, because we're about to wrap it up around here.
You sound like you about to pass out, X. God damn.
Yeah. I gotta get up early tomorrow, man. So that's why I'm kind of cutting it short.
Yeah, I got you, man. So look, I'll part with this, and I'm not even gonna be long with it. You know what I mean?
Part in shots.
This is a good conversation. I think it's healthy to have these conversations. I get where a lot of brothers are coming from. I get the emotions. I get your feelings. I get it. You know what I mean? You want to escape The outcome. And that's what I call Black society. It's an outcome. We didn't just get here yesterday. This has been a long, terrible track. And me, for one, I'm saying enough. So if you on that shit was enough, I get you. I'm with it. Enough's a fucking enough. All right. I'm tired of seeing people who I think could be better and are better than what they are. It's kind of like having a child who's underperforming, right? You got a kid that's smart as shit and they're not performing well in school. You know what I'm saying? But you don't turn your back on them completely. You know, but at the same time, you don't fucking bring yourself down to the mediocrity. Like, for instance, my daughter gets bad grades. I can't reward bad behavior. You feel me? So if we had a trip planned or if I had something I was going to do for her, that shit is off the table now because you didn't perform. You see what I'm saying? That's me being in a position of authority and being in a position of power. I'm not concerned how motherfuckers feel. I don't care. In the business world and the political world, there's no feelings. It's all business. That's why I say business is life and life is business, and handle yours, because life is about business. For me as a man, life is all about business, handling business. All this shit is business. I see black female fuckery as another obstacle in life. Just like I see racism or a lack of resources or the lack of capital, whatever the problem might be, we're gonna have to get over it. We're gonna have to push past it. That's why I'm where I'm at. And I appreciate you giving me the props on that, SKC. I am where I'm at because I pushed through a lot of different things. I leaped a lot of hurdles, and I want brothers to do it because I'm not special. So I want to aspire the future. I want to push brothers to get theirs and get theirs for a purpose. All right, not just for yourself, but for a purpose, because no other group of men in the world operate that way. I want agency. I want power. I want my grandchildren to have agency. I don't want them getting slapped up and shit by this white society no more. You know what I mean? I want agency. I want agency. And I can't believe that we've been in the country 400 something years after we went through, and we could sit here and watch Indian people, Asian people come in our country and have agency. And we okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm not okay with it. I'm actually livid. We should be our own party. We should be a vote that's up for whoever's going to deliver for us. And we should be about ourselves, just like the gay community is, just like the Jewish community is. They don't give a fuck about, what your affiliations are. What are you going to do for me? And what have you done for me lately? That's all they care about. And that's where we should be. So when you talk about the zombies, SKC, I feel you. There are a lot of zombies. A lot of zombies will line up and vote for this Democratic Party. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. You know what I mean? They're not thinking at all. They're going to be a lot of people who line up and vote for Joe Biden, even though he wrote the goddamn, law to put hundreds of thousands of black people in jail over fucking even non-violent offenses. And you know what I mean? That with the drug war and all that. And they're going to vote for that shit because they're, like you said, they're zombies. The question is, where's the black leadership? And I'm going to close on this. The black leadership, you just saw it. Black men, we got Kamala Harris out the paint. Us being on YouTube and being in social media for the last 4 or 5 years has pushed women to the point where now they're dragging Oprah. You see what I'm saying? Because we have a voice now. We are exuding leadership. It's not refined yet, but we're getting there. If we can stay the course. We got to look towards the future. If you guys want to live in the now and practice rugged individualism, then you're going to hurt us. You're going to hurt us. You're going to put us in a situation where we have no power apparatus. And we're going to have more ratchet culture and people out here just doing what the fuck they want to do. Because that's what ratchet culture is built on. People having no shame, no structure, and just doing what the fuck they want to do. You see what I'm saying? So now we can't sit here and do exactly what the women did. We got to come together as men and say, enough's enough. What is it going to take for us to get to where we need to get to in the future? And that's building a power dynamic. That's black men getting together, working hard, building, protecting our own, and working with those we can work with. And those we can't work with, we're going to have to just leave behind. And I'm going to leave you with this, SKC. I feel you. I look at it as a war, SKC. So you know how you're in the war and you out there doing triage and they call for the medic. And there's a motherfucker sitting here with his guts out. You can't do nothing for him. You're going to have to step over them and help that motherfucker who just got his pinky blown off, right? Tie him up, get him, to safety. You're going to have to help those you can help and leave the other ones behind. But that's all people. Everybody's done that. Asians have done that. White folk have done that. Every group has done that. So there's no different for us. We're going to have to move forward as a group of men. Not close.
Well, I'll be real short because I know my boy got to get up early. My whole thing is I think when it comes to black people, family is extremely important. And if you don't have strong families, you will never have the power that you're seeking in the future. And right now, Yeah, there was a guy. I know some people he ruffles feathers or whatnot, but he asked a question one time, and he said, "Which one would you rather have? Children that look exactly like you, or children that have the values that you want?" Mine is always going to lean towards the values. So I could care less about, oh man, an individual not looking exactly like me and so forth, blah, blah, blah. My culture and my value system and philosophy is being inculcated into them by my parenting.
Right.
And one of the things that X has with his family and his sons, his grandchildren, they're going to be part of his legacy. And they don't have to look exactly like him, but they are still part of Xavier's legacy. Period. The end. There's nothing that can be done or changed about that. And I think that people need to get beyond this whole idea of, oh man, I got to see somebody that look exactly like me, because guess what? A lot of people that were in your family tree, they didn't look anything like you. That's just Black America. We're a mixed race already.
And that brings this debate to a conclusion. I'd like to thank everybody for coming up in here tonight, man. Good shit, y'all. Very good shit, y'all. I mean,
Good convo, brother. Good convo.
Yeah, this was good shit,
Let's
man.
trade information, Jay Sean.
No doubt,
Yeah. Well, don't y'all go away. We're gonna continue this on. I'm just gonna do some closing out shit, and then we'll continue on. So y'all just stand by, right?
Okay, I just want to do a quick promotion if I could, X.
Go ahead.
Hey, I want everybody to come over to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have more conversations pushing my mentality on it. So I want to say thanks for the opportunity to have this debate, X. Thanks, SKC, for having a debate.
Absolutely.
2 Black men having a conversation respectfully. I think that's a good look. You know what I'm saying? Because this could have went a different way. Because I know you're passionate about how you feel, and I'm passionate about how I feel. So I'm gonna just say this. Thanks for the chat room for coming through. I see y'all in there wilding out, and I appreciate the time that you guys gave me on here to talk. And I just want to say, business is life and life is business. So handle yours. Check out my channel. Come over to the Jay Sean's Random channel. Subscribe, and I got some new content coming.
Yeah, put your channel in the chat, man. Both of y'all put your channels in the chat, because I think both of y'all are mods. So just go ahead, run your channel in the chat so everybody know where you're at and all that. Me, what I'm going to say is, I appreciate y'all coming out tonight, man. I mean, this is good stuff, man. This was a good debate. The first one, was a little, it was kind of slapped together. This one's getting a little better. They're going to get better as time goes on. I tried to stick to a particular format, but I think I kind of like the back and forth stuff better, as opposed to, stopping, moderating, and talk, stopping, moderating, and talk. I like the back and forth stuff better, because it kind of keeps the conversation continuous, So I mean, it flows better that way. So I think that's how we're going to do it. I'll let y'all decide who won. Y'all can write me if y'all want. Also, y'all can write me about, because I already, as soon as I got this debate started, I had like 3 emails with people giving me suggestions for next week's debate. So y'all go ahead, continue to write me, because remember, this one was y'all choice. Y'all chose this. Okay, y'all chose this debate. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be letting you folks choose the debates. You will be choosing them. You understand? Okay, so you write me. My email is on my, well, shit, this is YouTube. Everybody's got everybody's damn email anyway, so I ain't got to tell y'all my email. But y'all write me and y'all let me know, what do y'all want to see, and if I can make that debate happen, I will. Because some people you try to reach out to, some people you can't. So go ahead, hit me up, let me know who you want to see debate, or if you yourself wants to debate someone, let me know. Okay, let me know, Give me a couple days to work on it. The time to write me is now, like the folks did tonight. I mean, the debate had been on like maybe 5-10 minutes, and I already had 3 people give me suggestions. So write me now. You can give me enough time to work on it, get in contact with the folks, see if I can make it happen. If I can't make that one happen, I'll make the next one in line, because I actually go through all of y'all emails. I go through every single one of y'all emails, and I calculate what I get the most, and that's what I try to make happen. So if I can't make the first one happen, I'll try to make the second one happen. If I can't make the second one happen, I'll do the third. So I am listening to y'all. I am. All right. These are viewer choice debates. X ain't picking these folks. Okay. These are viewers' choice. I only pick the first one. The rest of them, you folks will be picking them. So go ahead, write me. Let me know what you want to see. And I'll say again, if you want to debate someone, or 2 of you want to debate each other, just let me know. We'll set it up and we'll do it right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. Now, what I need you to do is get your black behinds down to Facebook. Go right to Proper to Thought series on Facebook. That's Proper to Thought, one word, series, the next word, on Facebook. Go ahead, like the page, share the page. You can even leave me a message up there. I'm guaranteed to get back to you within 24 and 168 hours. Also, while you're there, get your butts down to the Proper Thought Series fan group page. That's the Proper Thought Series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, suggest to try to go ahead and try to be a member. You guaranteed to get in there. If not, just drop me a line and I'll talk to my admins and make sure you get up in the group. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Proper to Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. You guaranteed to get a follow back. And you know we got it in the night like this. Get your black behinds down to Twitter. The Twitter handle is at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. That's at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. Go ahead. Follow us on Twitter. Because if you don't, I will haunt your black ass mama in her dreams every freaking night till her ass goes to the grave. So once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank you folks over here in the chat room, my mods, always doing what they got to do. But most importantly, I want to thank you for spending some time with us tonight and watching us. It is greatly appreciated. And I also want to thank my great debaters, Brother Jay Shine and Brother Supreme King Coon. Both of these brothers I have great respect for. Now, folks, don't forget, write me for that next debate, because you will be choosing it. All right. So with that, also, before we close out, I don't know what I got going on tomorrow, y'all, for DXL. I'm not sure. Because I'm supposed to go to New York this week. I don't know if we're leaving tomorrow or not. I'm not sure. I should know by tomorrow afternoon. If we're leaving tomorrow night, I'm not going to do a show. But if we're not leaving until Friday, I will be doing a show. So look on the channel. If you see a thumbnail up for a show tomorrow, that means we're doing a show. If you don't see a thumbnail, that means I'm out of here. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words, like I always do. Open your mind.
The Prophet of Thought.
Peace, folks.
Open your mind. 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 Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.